KTRS News.
Good morning, Rose Dalton.
So I saw an ad that said, radio for sale, $2, volume stuck on full. I thought to myself, I can't turn that down.
Get it? Volume stuck on full?
Oh, I got it.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a long way to go. There's a nice little weave going on there.
I mean,
yeah.
It's a story.
Yeah, it's a story.
Right.
Yeah. It was a word problem. What wasn't just a straight up math problem. It was a word problem. Good morning, Carl. Good morning, Rose. How's everybody doing?
How are you, McGraw?
We are off and running. Hey, we should give a shout out to Guy Phillips yesterday. Well, we had him on the show a couple weeks ago plugging this golf tournament with this women's shelter.
Alive.
Yeah, it's a great story. Yesterday was the golf tournament. I was not able to attend, but a lot of people here behind the scenes were able to attend. And it's a wonderful, wonderful story. Guy called us up a couple weeks ago and said, hey, can we come on and plug the event? And sure. So he came on. And he had the women's shelter with him, and we were chatting about the women's shelter and all the things they do, and they help abuse women, which is a really not very well known. There's a lot of misinformation. A lot of people don't understand it. A lot of people are very confused by it. Ignorance is a large part of it. But there are a lot of women who are suffering and continue to suffer and have nowhere to turn. And so I asked Guy how you got involved with this, and he said it was years and years and years ago. He saw a story in the newspaper that this shelter was closing, and on the next page it was something about O.J. Simpson, selling some video for $19.99. And
I did it.
Yeah, something along the lines of, here you have a women's shelter that's closing at the same time that a man who was known for beating women is making money off of beating women. And he said, let's see if we can sort of raise some money for this women's shelter. Raised enough to survive, and then has continued to thrive all these years. So wonderful, wonderful story. Power of radio, power of Guy Phillips. And so yesterday they had their golf tournament, and it was a really, really very sweet story. So we're glad Guy was able to do it. KTRS was able to support it and raise some money for a really important cause. All right, coming up on the show today, we've got Jim Ryan is going to be joining us. He's got an interesting story about tech. What was this?
Roblox.
Oh yeah, Roadblocks. Yeah. So it's a game online, and it's a breeding ground for sexual predators. And so we're going to check in with Jim Ryan, all the things they're trying to do to protect kids from another online app. Also, we're going to check in with Stephen Portnoy. The Supreme Court is at it again, this time saying in California they can actually, if you're looking for undocumented workers, you can actually use their language or their likeness against them, which we can debate. Stephen Portnoy's got that at 7:35. Mike Dubusky's talking about the iPhone 17 and new autonomous driving. It's in the news. Bob Ramsey's going to check in. Antonio French is going to check in. We're going to check in with Altair Travel and Cruises, but with Holland America. Holland America takes their tour guides on a cruise of Alaska, and right now they're in the middle of that cruise. They're going to call in from Skagway, Alaska this morning.
I've been there.
Through the magic of radio.
I talked to Ryan yesterday.
Yeah, if we can hook this up through supersonic, funkophonic, sound effects.
It's still America.
It's America, baby. So we're going to go up to Alaska through the magic of radio. And then Greg Blanke from Boardwalk Hardwood Floors is going to join us, talk a little Boardwalk Hardwood Floors. And then, of course, phone calls, text messages, all that stuff in the 9 o'clock hour.
Wait, the iPhone 17?
Yeah.
Yep.
Man.
It's going to be half the width of this.
You mean
So
it's going to be
Thin.
squished, thinner?
Thin.
Do you guys have the 16?
I do.
I don't know what I have.
Do you get it the minute a new one comes out? Do you have to go get the latest and
No,
greatest?
I had a 10, so then I went to the 16.
I only did that after Emerson was born. There was a better camera on the one that just came out. So that's the only time that I upgraded when the screen wasn't completely cracked or anything.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, if you're going to have a baby, you want a better camera. So I upgraded for the better camera. But that's really the only time I've done it.
So what, yours is a 16, though?
I have no idea what mine is.
Oh.
I mean, at some point, I love this, it's too heavy. It's like you're talking about ounces, really? You're walking down the street like, my iPhone is killing me,
Although
man.
I
It's
gotta
too
say,
heavy.
yesterday on the walk, it added an extra weight to my fanny pack on my walk when I want to be,
I understand
when I
it.
have a clip at my walk.
I understand
up a hill
it,
and
but
I'm
if it was
sweating.
4 ounces lighter, would you have really enjoyed the walk more? I mean, has anybody really climbed up a mountain and been like, whoo, my iPhone, man, that was really tough.
I actually liked it when they were like a half-inch shorter.
My iPod Touch is a lot smaller. It fits perfectly. But now it won't hold a charge, so.
I mean, my eyes are so bad, I hold up my iPad. Hello?
Do you have it on maximum font size?
No, I don't think so. But my nieces at one point were like, Uncle McGraw, nice font size. I was like, really?
I noticed that you can read it from a mile
You
away.
can read it from over here.
This morning, my Siri, whatever, called me Shirley, and I realized I had it on airplane mode.
Hey-oh. See, now that's comedy right there.
That was cute.
I do have, what I do have on my phone, which I didn't realize I have, but I have a screen protector that shields people
Yes.
from reading my phone from,
Like I can't stand behind you or to the side and see what you're looking at.
Yeah. So so at some point you can't see my phone.
Did you do that on purpose?
No. Somebody was like, "Oh, you've got one of those." I was like, "Oh, I like those." So yeah, you can't. Once you move it, it's like anything 45 degrees or more. You can't. You can't see my screen.
Oh.
You can't see all the bad things I'm texting about you.
What are you trying to hide?
Wouldn't you like to find out? 6:15 here, Captain Paul Kopsky in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. There's a stalled vehicle on westbound 70 before Jennings Station. A couple of construction notes. One northbound and one southbound lane of Tesson Ferry are closed between 270 and Butler Hill until 2 o'clock this afternoon for road work. And one eastbound and one westbound lane of Olive will be closed between Warson and 170 from 9 o'clock this morning until 3 for road work. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got a warming trend this week, eventually hot by late this week into the weekend. Highs will be in the 90s, but we still have a cool morning on Tuesday, a low 54 degrees. Then back up to near normal, warming up 82 on Tuesday afternoon and mostly sunny skies. But it is a little hotter by Wednesday, mostly sunny and a high of 89. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, where was I yesterday? Oh, I was driving back from Columbia, and I saw a Miller Furniture billboard on the Highway 40. It had a big old Amish furniture sign and had a big old nice picture of one of their showrooms. Miller Furniture is very big with the Amish furniture, and you think of Amish furniture, and you think Roy Underhill. Remember Roy Underhill from PBS? Well, this is not your grandfather's Amish furniture. Amish furniture has always been quality. But what they're able to do today, some of those beautiful pieces and finishes, just gorgeous, gorgeous furniture, heirloom furniture that will last a lifetime. And yeah, you can get it all at Miller Furniture. It's not just Amish furniture. It's Stickley. It's Smith Brothers of Byrne. It's Flex Steel. These are the names of furniture that have been around for generations. And where do you get it? You get it at a place like Miller Furniture, which itself has been around coming up on 100 years. They have their Labor Day sale going on for the month of September, which means you get discounts up to 30, 40, 50, 60, up to 75% off in-stock furniture. Plus, you got some great pricing on some select custom orders as well. Stickley's, 40% off. Not a bad deal for Stickley's. Financing up to 16 months. So buy today, and what is that, 5 years to pay off? That's a pretty good deal there with Stickley. Miller Furniture, 4 area locations. Lake St. Louis out at the Meadows. Fairview Heights, they got a big showroom out there. It used to be an old weekends only. Not to mention lots of mattresses available. Ellisville on Manchester Road, which was another furniture store that since closed down. Miller Furniture has thrived and survived there. And then Belleville, their first and original. Miller Furniture, coming up on 100 years. MUELLER, MillerFurniture.com.
Inland Marine Boats in Barnhart has been serving your boating needs for 38 years. Hi, I'm Ryan at Inland Marine, your Mercury Marine dealer. Remember, you only get 18 summers with your kids. Make the most of them with a boat. InlandMarineBoats.com.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you. BishopsPost.com.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit CantorInjuryLaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You are a successful electrical contractor, but you plus a dedicated team supporting your project from day one? That's taking your productivity to the next level. And Graybar can help you get there. Your relationships plus our relationships. Your capabilities plus our job site services. Your challenges plus our technical specialist. You alone can get the job done, but you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've only sold 2 houses, but I know how stressful it can be. I also know the team at Lauren Risley Realty makes the entire process as easy as possible. I watched Lauren work with friends and my parents, and I can say she is top-notch. She doesn't just know the market, she knows what to look for in a home, and that includes red flags. And through all of it, she is calm, cool, and kind. So if you're in the market to buy or sell a home, or if you just have a question, call Lauren Risley Realty, 314-775-0684, or go to LaurenRisleyRealty.com.
Kick off football season like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, low holds, exceptional customer service, and no bet fees ever. Other books may charge you just to get on the field, but with Circa Sports, every play is yours to call. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
McGraw Millhaven on KTRS.
$623 here, Big 550 KTRS. You know, one of the biggest problems in downtown St. Louis is Airbnbs. And this is becoming such a huge problem, not just here in St. Louis, but it seems like everywhere. New York City also cracking down on Airbnbs. And it's not just like the city of St. Louis. It's these high-end neighborhoods, Town and Country, Clayton, right? Subdivisions are putting in all sorts of restrictions. You can only have, three places rented out. You can only allow long-term rentals, not short-term rentals. It really is. Airbnbs are really turning into a huge, huge problem. And I never saw this thing coming. You rent, right? You want to go on vacation. I've used Airbnbs, and I thought it was a great little service. Now, you get these idiots, right? With anything, you abuse it, and then the neighborhood suffers. So you live in a nice neighborhood, and for whatever reason, you rent out your house, and it's nice, and you get some money for it. And then, lo and behold, some idiot comes in and throws a party at 3 o'clock in the morning. And, neighbors are like, hey, we're in a nice gated community here. What are you doing? But I own the place. Why can't I rent it? No, you're ruining my neighborhood. I mean, it sort of pits one against the other. I don't know what the answer is. Downtown St. Louis will tell you that these apartment complexes, which are struggling to maintain residents, they rent it out. Somebody rents it out. They have a party. They sell money. They sell tickets to a party in a loft, and they trash the neighborhood. They trash the building. They trash the apartment. I can't imagine the person renting it makes any money off of this. So I don't know. I mean, it's not an easy answer for all of this.
Or you have the other side where you are trying to get an Airbnb and you trashed the place. You're not getting your deposit back.
Well, okay, right, yeah. I'll.
Both sides are.
Yeah. Well,
no one's winning.
And then now you have the added layer of this is with this whole going after this Fed woman, where she has now said that she has they have alleged that she has claimed on her mortgage applications 2 primary residences, right? And then, of course, the other side's then's got to check on the other people, and now all of a sudden your family, no, your family declared that you have 2 primary mortgages, right? I can only imagine, and this has been I've been following this for a little bit just because I have a couple rental properties and good friends with Stuart. Early on, maybe during the pandemic, I was taking out a mortgage, and Stuart said, what do you want the mortgage for? And I was like, well, I'm buying a rental. He was like, okay. So throughout the process, I was like, why is this mortgage rate higher than the other? He's like, well, because it's a rental and they charge more for rentals. And I was like, well, why can't we just say it's my primary residence? He's like, that would be lying. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, can't help you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, I mean, I found the one honest mortgage banker in the world. And so I was like, oh, I mean, I can just say I'm going to live there and I can get a lower mortgage rate? Yes. And he's like, but you really have to live there. I was like, oh, all right, I see how it works.
And Fed Director Cook says that it's a clerical error.
Well, right. And so the point is that I could imagine people rental properties and Airbnbs and, with all the fraud going out there, if you don't have the good angel on your shoulder saying that's not accurate, I could see all of this mortgage fraud. If that's mortgage fraud, I suspect there's more than 1 or 2 people in the world who said this is their primary residence when it really wasn't. So, I mean, this is an interesting little thing. But these Airbnbs, though, I don't know. I've talked to numerous people about all these things. When you add up the fee to pay to list it, the fee to get it cleaned, the fee to relist it, you have to fix the couch every other week. You got it right. Somebody punched a hole in the wall. Right. All of these extra fees. When it's all said and done, I'm not so sure you make all that much money you claim you're making. So when it's all said and done, it seems like it's a whole lot of effort for a couple of bucks. and it doesn't really seem to be worth the headache. I'm sure some people are making some money on it, but this get-rich-quick scheme, let's get a condo at the lake and Airbnb it and make a fortune out of it. I think if you break even, you consider yourself lucky.
Or not lose.
Right, yeah, right, exactly. And, maybe we will rent out for the weekends we don't use it. We'll rent out our condo at the lake.
Right, like I thought that was a great, you have this big old house and you're gone for 6 months out of the year. Like,
right.
Have someone else, yeah.
Sounds good.
Right.
Sounds like a great idea. And then, of course, somebody, breaks the couch and breaks the TV and throws a party. And then, you got a meth head who goes in there and the guy didn't know about it. And then you got to do this. One thing leads to another.
But very similar to being
then your neighbors hate you and everything else.
Well, also being a landlord, though, kind of to a point, right? Like you kind of risk some of those.
Yeah.
Are you right? I mean, you never know who you're really renting to, or you have those possibilities.
No, that's exactly
they could
right.
trash your place,
yeah.
right?
And you bring up silverware. No joke. The amount of, because I've asked lots of questions. The amount of things that are stolen out of Airbnb is shocking.
I'm not shocked.
And so whether accidentally or on purpose, things are stolen. Not necessarily the TV, because, but the tchotchke on the corner, the Monopoly game, the this, the that, the blanket, the pillow, the towel, the forks, the knives. And so they end up replacing it with the cheapest of the cheapest. So even if you have a high-end luxury condo, then you're getting, basically one step up from a plastic fork. And you're like, well, this isn't this.
Couldn't you just take complete inventory of said place and then be like, if anything's missing after that, you're responsible for replacing, and you know what I mean? Like, if it was that.
But if you have a condo at the lake and you're in St. Louis, every weekend you got to go down and take an inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Or then you have to pay someone to take an inventory. There's another fee. I mean, it's right. It sounds like a great idea. But I'm not so sure when it's all said and done that it makes a whole lot of sense.
Someone stole my Fabergé egg.
Yeah. 6:31 here, Big 550 KTRS. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. No problems on the roads right now. Area interstates are running at or near the speed limit. Taking a look at some drive times, it takes 11 minutes to go from 64 and Timberlake Manor out to 94, a 9-minute run from 5570 in Collinsville to downtown St. Louis, and 11 minutes from 70 in Cave Springs to the airport. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, weather for the next couple of days. Here's what we got. Yesterday, again, another gorgeous day. Today, we're going to touch 80. No rain in the forecast anywhere. There's no rain in the forecast, but there is plenty of sun, a couple of clouds along the way. So high of 81 today, overnight tonight, low of 61. Tomorrow, upper 80s. And then this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, mid 90s by Saturday afternoon. So there you go. Right now it is
53 degrees.
53 degrees at 6:32. Let's go to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
Ukraine's president and a regional official say at least 21 people have been killed when a Russian glide bomb has struck a village in eastern Ukraine as pensions were being disrupted to older people. As pensions were being disrupted to older people. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called the attack frankly brutal and urged the international community to make Russia pay economically for its invasion through additional sanctions. The Israeli military has urged a full evacuation of Gaza City ahead of its planned expanded military operation in the city of northern Gaza. The announcement this morning was the first warning for a full evacuation of the city in the current round of fighting. Governor Mike Kehoe has ordered the Missouri State Capitol Dome to shine orange beginning at sunrise today until sunrise tomorrow in recognition of September as Hunger Action Month. Orange is the national color of hunger awareness and hunger relief. It is used each September to unify actions across the country during Hunger Action Month and as a visible reminder that hunger affects every community. More details are being released about the Powerball winner from Missouri. Lottery officials say a winning Powerball ticket from Saturday's nearly $1.8 billion drawing was sold at a Quick Trip on Lusher Road in North County. 53 degrees. Time now is 6:33. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
Diana from Newstetter's Fine Jewelers here to remind you, we don't just offer the best pieces, we offer one of the last master hand engravers in our country. My father can create timeless, personal, and unforgettable pieces. Come by our showroom at the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or learn more online at wowdiamonds.com.
You're finally ready to renovate your home. Riverbend Kitchen and More is your BBB accredited project partner that is attentive and responsive to your vision from concept to completion. Riverbend specializes in kitchens and baths, but also bars, bookcases, cabinetry, countertops, and more. They work with homeowners, contractors, and developers. Proud supplier of Waypoint Living Spaces cabinets, as well as other quality cabinetry lines. Financing is available, conveniently located in Soulard, Alton, and Mascoutah. Call 314-314-7411. Online at riverbendkm.com.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newstetter's Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newstetter's, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Live from Studio 550, this is The McGraw Show on KTRS.
.635 here, Big 550 KTRS. Jim Ryan joining us, talking about, shockingly, some online predators are finding new ways to reach our kids. Jim Ryan, what's the latest?
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got this game, Roblox, 112 million people on that game on any given day. Huge number, and kids, right? Many of them kids. And that provides this, what the Attorney General in Louisiana calls a breeding ground for sex predators. And so the state of Louisiana has filed suit against Roblox on that basis. Roblox has responded. It has come up with some new technology or a new use for some previous technology that is intended to parse out young players from older players from adult players. Facial age estimation technology. Here's how it works, McGraw. When you sign up for an account with Roblox, you submit a selfie of yourself. And based on that, Roblox then sorts you into one of three groups, either under 13, 13 or up, or 18 and up, right, with varying restrictions in each of those categories. So that's where they're going with this. Roblox intending to try to, first of all, restrict the people who are signing up for the platform, but also instituting some new technology which is intended to prevent communication between kids and adults unless those kids and adults know each other in real life.
I'm no tech genius, but couldn't I just take a picture of a 13-year-old and put that up as my picture?
Yes, you could. I talked yesterday with Dr. Alex Del Carmen. He's a criminologist here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area about that very thing. Does he think that this new age verification technology is going to work?
The problem is that they're not always right. That technology has failed many, many times, and kids have a way to get around that.
Including putting up selfies of somebody else or selfies that they found online in order to appear older. But you're right, it works the other way too. Some predator out there could post an image or submit a selfie at the application process that makes him seem like somebody who's 13 years old or 14 years old. So it kind of cuts both ways.
What is it about this game, Roblox, that is so important that parents would allow their kids on it with the idea that they'll do everything they can to avoid the predators, but they need to be on this game? Well, what's so special about this game?
It's a good babysitter, right? I'm not sure what it is. I've got a young relative, a 7-year-old, who plays this game incessantly. I mean, that tablet is glued to his hands, right? And by the way, if you take it away, there are withdrawal symptoms that kid goes through. Anyway, so he's sitting there playing it the other day and kind of mumbling and muttering about the game that he's playing, and suddenly the voice of an adult comes from the tablet talking to him. And it's terrifying. So you shut down the communication between those two. But I'm not sure what the attraction is, McGraw, why this game in particular is so wildly popular, but it is, and that's where we are now. So, and Alex Del Carmen, I'll give him the last word on what maybe we should be doing here.
We have to be aware. We have to learn the platform. We have to learn the jargon. And we have to start having those conversations with our kids.
And maybe be willing to take it away from them.
Are you saying the adult voice wasn't from the game, but it was from another player?
Yeah. Well, that's how many of these online platforms, these gaming platforms work. You can communicate with other players. You've probably seen videos of people playing Halo or, they're talking back and forth to each other and yelling at each other and chirping and all that. And this game offers that same kind of situation. But this is a game designed for children.
Wow. There are these things they invented a long time ago called books.
Books, bicycles.
Kites.
How about a kite? How about a nice kite?
How about a pitchback? Throw the ball, it throws it right back out at you.
Or instead of that, go out there, put your mitt on, go out there with your kid, give the kid a mitt, and you throw back and forth to each other.
Holy mackerel. Man, what a world.
Revolutionary.
Jim Ryan, ABC News, thanks.
See you, McGraw.
You got
Sorry.
it. No, 6:39. I don't get. Having a 5-year-old, I get. Hey, you know what? Turn the TV on, watch some cartoons. Let me sit here for 5 minutes and collect my thoughts. I get that, but I don't know if there are a whole bunch of pedophiles who are trying to attack her while she's watching Scooby-Doo. But once you put the tablet in front of her and she's playing a game, then they're all trying to get to her. I don't get it.
But with Roblox, they can create their own games, so there is benefit for playing that.
Okay.
There is benefit for playing those games.
Sure, but we won't let them walk to school because we're afraid somebody will steal them, right? But we'll give them a game which has access to billions of pedophiles all over the world. If you're worried about the safety, why does it stop when you put the tablet in their hand? Why do you stop worrying about it then? 640 here, Big 550 KTRS. Dents Express is a company that has been in business for 30 years. They specialize in dent removal, hail damage, minor collision repair, all sorts of things. And if you find yourself in a situation where you went through a hailstorm or you got some dings and some dents and maybe a little scrape in the parking lot, Dents Express can help you. And they've been doing this for 30-plus years. Their family, now the business is run by Gray Wilson, who's a good dude, good guy. And they got 2 locations, on Manchester, in Baldwin, and in St. Charles. They'll do everything they can to get it fixed and fixed right, and the reputation is fantastic. And since they've been with us, business has exploded. And the only thing they ask is that you make an appointment. Make an appointment because they're so busy. So many people, so many cars were injured during the storm that it's taken them a while to get to everybody, but that's all right. So no walk-ins, free estimates, though. Make an appointment, and then when the appointment pops up, bring the car in. They will take care of everything else, handling all the paperwork and getting the car done, getting it back to you looking as good as new. The results are amazing. Dents Express on Manchester in Baldwin next to Gettiker's. Dents Express, STL.com.
Got gold? Get green at Jewels on Hampton. Jewels on Hampton pays the most for your precious metals, jewelry, gems, currency, antiques, and collectibles. Jewels on Hampton buys precious and semi-precious gems and stones, scrap gold, and sterling silver. Jewels on Hampton buys and sells paper money, wristwatches, and pocket watches. They even take pianos and cars. To sum up, bring your gold chains, bracelets, rings, coins, dental gold, and more to Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis. And get green online at jewelsonhampton.com.
Zero is your hero at HW Kia. 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, or 0% for 48 months. Even 0 tariff pricing on every clearly marked new HW Kia in stock. Currently stuck in your loan or lease? Big D, the trade man, wants to get you released. Up to 120% over fair market value for your trade. Every clearly marked new HW Kia. 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, or 0% for 48 months. Even gas and all-wheel drive Sportage and Sorrento SUVs. Have a job clearing $450 a week? You're practically approved. So bring your trade and lease a new Seltos S, Nero LX, or Soul. Just $99 a month. $49.95 due. And you guessed it, 0 security deposit. But when they're gone, they're gone. You heard right. Choose your new Kia and drive for $99 a month. That's less than the cost of a daily cup of coffee. Only at HWKia.com. On Approved credit, not all qualify. Plus tax, title, license, 587, title, and registration processing fee. Negative equity, refinance, and new loan. Rebates and incentives to dealer. 24-month, 10,000-mile lease. 49.95 due. Average not combination. Expires September 6, 2025.
The big, beautiful tax bill just passed. Do you know how these changes will affect your financial plan? What changes has your financial advisor made to take advantage of these opportunities before they expire? Join me, Kevin Lloyd, for my next tax workshop, 314-641-1010. Learn how these changes can benefit you and your family. 314-641-1010.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPLA, registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.
Hi, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer temps sure put our air conditioners to the test. A few years ago, before I knew about Premier Heating and Cooling, our air conditioner was on its last legs. We decided to push the envelope and try to limp through another St. Louis summer before replacing it. We went away on vacation and came back to discover our air conditioning unit had gone on the fritz while we were gone, and we ended up with all kinds of trouble, including warped wood floors. That delay in replacing our worn-out unit was an expensive mistake. If you're limping through and you know it's time for a replacement unit, our friends at Premier Heating and Cooling can take care of you and even work with you on financing. Or if you haven't taken the time to really get your air conditioner checked out and make sure it's operating at peak efficiency, which will really help on your bills and help with the life of your air conditioning unit, Premier Heating and Cooling is the place to go. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net. 636-916-1122.
I don't know of anybody who hasn't been to Milo's. Located in the heart of the hill across from St. Ambrose Church, family-owned Milo's helps anchor the neighborhood. Here's owner Joe Balmer on what makes Milo's so iconic.
The secret to success at Milo's is that, and I'll be very honest with you, it's my wife, Susie. This is the way you do things. This is the way how you treat people. We treat them like family. That's why we've had employees for so long. And when people come in, they feel that. When you come in, we want to make it like your home. You're going to feel like there's no better place to be.
For great food, a great patio experience with the best bocce in town, visit Milo's Bocce Garden. And Milo's is available for private parties online at milosboccegarden.com.
The Big 550.
KTRS, St. Louis.
Meep, meep.
Captain Paul in the St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. An accident on eastbound 64 at Route DD is off on the shoulder in a construction area, and it's causing a stop and go back up to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. There's debris on eastbound 70, the on-ramp from Kings Highway, and northbound 55 is running slow from Union to Bayless. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. woodsbasementsystems.com.
Our stretch of fall-like weather has come to an end. We have more cloud cover present this morning. That will lead to mostly sunny skies by the afternoon, and temperatures today warmer with a high of 82 degrees. Overnight tonight, we fall back into the 60s, and we continue with the warm-up beginning tomorrow and through the weekend. We have many 90s in the forecast ahead. It stays dry. With your first alert forecast, I'm meteorologist Leah Hill for the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk Bowen Dental Care, because if you need anything to do with the dentist, you need a dentist you can trust and a dentist with good bedside manner, and that, of course, is Dr. Bowen. He has two locations, Lee May Ferry Road down in South County, and, of course, Dunn Road up in North County, just down the street from Johnny Londahl Chevrolet. Look, it all comes down to, right, we all know about traditional dentistry, and if you haven't been in a while, right, we've all been there, where you sort of get out of the habit of going every 6 months, every 5 months, every 4 months to get your teeth cleaned, and all of a sudden you get, right, starts to hurt a little bit, and then you start drinking and eating on the other side of your mouth, and it doesn't get any better. It only gets worse, and then ultimately you have to go find a dentist. Well, Dr. Bowen is your go-to, but it's more than just that. If it's teeth whitening, teeth cleaning, Invisalign for adults as well as kids, Implants is the big thing in dentistry. You have a one-tooth problem? Dr. Bowen has a one-tooth solution with implants. He's gone the extra mile. He does the continuous education, all the latest and greatest when it comes to technology. All it does is make it easier for us to get our teeth fixed and fixed right, and that's where Dr. Bowen comes in. Those implants start at $7,000, which is a lot of money, but it's very reasonable considering the corporate dentists that you keep seeing all those commercials. They'll charge $25,000, $30,000, $40,000. Dr. Bowen. SimplySecureDentures.com. Dr. Velvet Hands. SimplySecureDentures.com.
Tune in Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Straight Talk and Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus for an intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing.
Hey, Ed Brock, everybody. If you love Halloween like I do yourself a favor and visit Johnny Brock's Dungeon. Why shop those tiny pop-up shops when you can shop 30,000 square feet of locally owned Halloween fun? We're open all year at I-44 in Jefferson on the edge of Soulard. Johnny Brock's Dungeon, a St. Louis must-see.
When it comes to mortgage lenders, I know you have no shortage of options. But are you working with someone local who can truly simplify the process? I'm David Goldberg with the Goldberg Group, and as a St. Louis home purchase expert, I know this market inside and out. I specialize in tough-to-complete situations for borrowers who are self-employed, looking to buy and sell at the same time, and may have been turned down somewhere else. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned homeowner, you can trust me with all of your home financing needs. Call or text me at 314-471-4030. 314-471-4030.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement, and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
The fall leaves are starting to change colors, and soon enough they'll be dropping. Do you have old or damaged trees that need to come down too? Let the qualified arborists at Raised Tree Service do the work for you. Raised Tree Service has over 30 years of experience servicing the St. Louis area. Give them a call today at 314-821-2665 for a free estimate with one of their professionals. That's 314-821-2665 or online at raisedtreeservice.com.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
Oh, everybody plays the fool. 6:52 here, Big 550 KTRS. So coming up next hour, we are going to be checking in with Stephen Portnoy. Supreme Court makes a ruling on going after immigrants or cracking down on immigrants or prospective stereotyping. We'll get into that. Mike DeBussey's got a review of the iPhone. Antonio French is going to be around. We'll talk some local. and then some phone calls in the 9 o'clock hour. It's September 9th. And if you notice at supermarkets, Halloween candy is upon us.
Yes.
And so my affinity for Halloween is well documented on these airwaves.
Carl doesn't. I don't know if Carl knows.
You've heard?
I've heard
rumblings of his hatred for the Halloween.
Yes.
Yes.
And you've also
he's going on a Disney cruise for Halloween.
That's right.
Yes. And so we're entering the season of my discontent. And so I got a text from Zach Binding the other day. Somebody in his neighborhood already has out Halloween things on their front yard, in which, again, well documented. I don't understand. You have a beautiful front yard. You spend lots of money on this house, and you turn it into a graveyard for a month. I don't understand. Or you take like
skeletons.
You take fake cobwebs and you strewn them all over your house for a month. I don't understand it. I just don't. Okay. However, yesterday I found myself in a Home Depot with the little one. Okay. And after I told her no, she can't have one of those suckers or whatever, those giant, jaw-breaking suckers. We were going to get whatever we were getting, and she walked by the Halloween ghouls and goblins section of Home Depot, of the lawn art form. Okay. And this year, they've really outdone themselves, because not only do they have witches who are brewing up some type of brew in a black cauldron with green stuff coming out of the top, and they have an ogre and a werewolf and a skeleton and a 6-foot skeleton, a 9-foot skeleton, what looked like a 20-foot skeleton or wolf, you wouldn't believe the prices on these things. $250, $300, $400, $500. And they all have it set up with the buttons that say "Try me," right? So you hit the button, and then the thing, roar, the teeth open up, and the animatronic skeleton starts to move and talk, and right, all those, right? So we come across this, what appeared to be an 8-foot skeleton, and you hit the "Try me" button, and the skeleton, in what is a really clear voice, and the eyes, they're like little tiny TV screens. So they're not like fake eyeballs. They're like a TV screen. So the eyes can move up and down. They can go left to right. So this skeleton really looks like it's looking at you. And the skeleton starts moving like a human and says, "Hi there, I have 5 different sayings, or you can use your app and get me to say anything you want me to say."
Oh, no.
Yeah. And so you're like, wait a minute, what? And I also have motion sensor, or you can turn that off, and you can then hit a button, and then I'll start saying whatever it is you want on your app on your phone.
He sounds like Skeleton Smokey the Bear.
And you're like, so I'm staring at this thing like, this is kind of cool.
His name's Skelly,
So
by the way.
if someone approached you and goes, "Mr. Milhaven, we'd like to use your voice for this new Halloween, whatever," right? And like you submit,
Well,
so you just submit all these sayings.
I don't. Well, so apparently the skeleton has 5 different programmed sayings.
Oh, man.
Like, I'm going to bite your head off, or
Right.
get away from here, or
I'd like to order a beer and a mop.
Right. Why did the skeleton cross the road? Because I didn't have any guts, or whatever, right? whatever the stupid 5 sayings are. But then you can program your own. So I don't know if it's artificial intelligence or what. And I don't know if I could use my voice. Like, it's one of those things where you record your own voice into the thing, and then it plays back. I have no idea. But I was like, that's kind of cool. And then I looked at the price. It was $300.
Yeah.
And I was like, never mind. Let's go.
But $275 if you get a card today.
But I was like, whoa, that was really kind of
well,
cool.
not like if they do like grok or something, is it going to be like anti-Semitic? Like,
Oh, I'm
you
sure.
know what I mean? It's just going to be.
If you could
all
do anything
these-
you want, you could. I mean,
right?
think about
No
the
Irish.
Think about. I mean, it was insane. But the eyes were like screens, so it looked like it was. I mean, you knew it was fake, obviously. But with the fake screen eyes, it was like LED eyes.
Well,
They're
so
called
they-
life eyes.
It was.
LCDs.
It's nuts.
It could be like a camera, like a nanny cam. So it's like your yard cam or something, right? So you can
well-
control it from inside as everything that the skeleton
I don't
looks
know.
at.
Well, the next thing is probably where you
That
could
shirt
see,
you're wearing is awful.
Where you could see what the skeleton sees. I guess.
Right? I mean,
Put your Ring camera in there.
Crazy. Just absolutely $300. I mean, I
so you
was
bought two?
I was like, if it's I was like $300. Never mind. No, I can't do it.
They have a Chewbacca one for Christmas. That's
Can't do it.
$350.
Can't
Yeah,
do
when's
it.
your inflatable being delivered?
20
foot, 40 foot?
I have one from last year.
Oh, right.
I have the Santa from last year. 6:58 here. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. An accident on eastbound 64 at Route DD is off on the shoulder in a construction area, and it's causing a stop and go back up to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Estimated clearance time is 7:25, and northbound 55 is running slow from Bayless to Weber. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Close out the season with Beautiful, the Carole King story. Tickets on sale now. Get yours while they last. More information available at stagesstlouis.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, weather for the next couple of days. It's going to be nice. Today we're going to touch 80, but then it really starts to warm up. We're going to be in the mid-90s by the end of the week. Not a drop of rain anywhere in the forecast. Right now it is 53 degrees. Stay right there. Mike Dubusky has the latest on the iPhone 17 and Antonio French in just about an hour. 7 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Live and local.
Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The White House is flatly denying that President Trump penned the crude drawing and poem that was sent to sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday 22 years ago. Democrats insist it is his signature. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Trump and Epstein were friends for more than a decade, but when Epstein was arrested in 2019, Trump said the two men hadn't spoken in 15 years. The book was given to Epstein in 2003. Recently, the president claiming the two had a falling out because Epstein, quote, took people, including young women, who worked at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club.
The letter released by Democrats on the House Oversight Committee. ICE raids can resume in Los Angeles now that the Supreme Court has reversed a lower court's order calling the raids unconstitutional. ABC Chief White House Correspondent Mary Bruce has more.
This is a big win for President Trump and his administration's aggressive immigration enforcement tactics. The Supreme Court lifting restrictions on ICE agents operating in California, allowing them to target, stop, and detain people based solely on their race, the fact that they speak Spanish, where they gather, or what type of work they do. Factors that a lower court judge had deemed unconstitutional. The Fourth Amendment, of course, protects against unlawful searches and seizures.
Justice Brett Kavanaugh writing the harm to American citizens who are stopped and questioned based on their race is modest. A 13-year-old boy arrested in Washington state for what police say was a plot to shoot up his school. Found at his home nearly 24 weapons, ammunition, and a gas mask.
The young suspect appearing in court pleading not guilty to multiple felonies. In charging documents, prosecutors say the teen had written multiple threats on social media, sharing photographs holding semi-automatic rifles dressed in the attire of past school shooters. One post saying in part, "My time is almost here. I hope I kill you all."
ABC's Trevor Ault. You're listening to ABC News.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
Despite concern about rising prices due to tariffs on imports, optimism among small business owners in the United States remains high.
The National Federation of Independent Business has been gauging the sentiment of its members since 1973, and its Small Business Optimism Index rose 0.5 point last month. It's above its 52-year average. The survey found improvement in overall business health, but nagging concern about labor quality.
That's ABC's Jim Ryan. Nepal's prime minister resigning after police opened fire on protesters in Kathmandu who were demonstrating against a new social media ban in the country. 19 people, mostly young people, were killed. A group of scammers who authorities say targeted tourists wanting to visit the Vatican are now set to stand trial in Rome. ABC's Mike Dubusky explains.
The Secret Service, in coordination with Italian police, now say they've busted a group of cyber criminals they say are responsible for scamming tourists out of about $700,000. Scammers would set up advertisements on booking websites for five-star hotels, complete with confirmation numbers. But the hotels were fake, with the scammers only using them to collect deposits and credit card information from unsuspecting tourists. A trial is set for this month. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Big Apple announcement today at the company's headquarters, expected to release a new ultra-slim version of the iPhone 17, along with the base model and the 17 Pro. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Ott Law works tirelessly to advocate for the rights of the people they serve in the areas of personal injury, trust and estate law, labor and employment law, and business law. Ott Law represents clients from all walks of life and uses cutting-edge technology, litigation savvy, and a dedicated strategic vision to get winning results on tough cases. And Ott Law proudly supports the St. Louis Men's Group Against Cancer. Call Ott Law at 314-293-3756. Online at ott.law. The choice of a lawyer is an important one and should not be based solely on advertisements.
53 degrees at 7:05. Here's what's happening now. The Missouri House of Representatives is one step closer to advancing a new state congressional map. House members gave initial approval yesterday to a map that splits Kansas City among 3 congressional districts. Meanwhile, the Missouri House gave preliminary approval yesterday to a plan asking voters to make it harder for citizens to change the state constitution through ballot question. Yesterday's initial votes during the special session are preliminary, with plans to take final official votes today before the proposals move to the Senate for deliberation. The Jefferson County Council has approved a ban on swimming at Rockford Park. The council voted 6-1 in favor of the ban last night. This is in response to drownings in the area in recent years. Officials say there have been 7 drownings, 3 near drownings, and 29 water rescues at the park since 2014. The ordinance must be voted on 2 more times and signed by the county executive to become law. MoDOT is set to break ground on new projects along Route 100 in St. Louis City. Although the project predominantly makes safety improvements along the corridor and resurfaces the roadway, it is also the first MoDOT project that includes protected bike lanes on a state-maintained route. This lane connects to existing cycle tracks established by the city of St. Louis on roads they maintain. The groundbreaking is scheduled for 9 this morning. The St. Louis Zoo Wildcare Park is welcoming their first camel herd. The story from KTRS's Sobe Bay.
The camels are between 1 and 2 years old and are settling into Wildcare Park, a safari park and conservation breeding center currently under development in North St. Louis County. The camels are Bactrian camels, the kind with 2 humps, and the only species to still roam the wild. They are known for their ability to withstand extreme temperatures, ranging from -20 to 120 degrees in their native habitat, the Gobi Desert of Mongolia. Visitors will have the opportunity to meet these camels on guided safaris when Wildcare Park officially opens in 2027. But if you can't wait, you can see Bactrian camels at the St. Louis Zoo and Forest Park, where they have been cared for over many years. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
St. Louis County Executive Sam Page is asking for funding for 15 new jobs, stating that 2 critical public programs need more support to meet resident interest. Page's administration is asking for $2.6 million over the next 2 years as part of the effort. Page sent a letter to the county council asking for a supplemental appropriation of nearly $634,000 to fund 15 jobs related to RECA support for 2025. The county, looking to help residents apply for RECA, wants to keep funding those jobs through fiscal year 2027. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. 53 degrees. Time now is 7:07. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News.
All right. Good morning, Rose. Stephen Portnoy is going to be joining us here, ABC News correspondent, about the Supreme Court lifting restrictions on some tactics that ICE is using to crack down on undocumented workers, including language and ethnicity, which has caused some to raise an eyebrow or two. Stephen Portnoy's got that at 7:35. Mike Dubusky going to talk about the iPhone. Antonio French going to swing by. We'll talk to him about some local things and phone calls in the 9 o'clock hour. Has anybody heard of the kissing bug? No, I'm not talking about mono either.
I saw a picture of it the other day.
Chagas or something?
Yeah,
Is
Chagas disease.
Chagas disease?
A potentially deadly condition caused by infected insects, or AKA kissing bugs, has become an endemic in the United States, according to the CDC. Now, what does endemic mean? Let's look this up. Endemic means
planned by the government,
regularly occurring within an area or a community. So there you go. Now, in the report published in September, the CDC's Emerging Infectious Disease Journals, this is from CBS News, says the disease is already in 21 countries in the Americas, and growing evidence that the parasite is challenging its non-endemic label. Autochthonous, I'm not even going to call it, whatever. It's been reported in 8 states, most notably in Texas, but it has been shown up in Missouri and in Illinois. But the big ones are Texas, Louisiana, Tennessee, Missouri, Arizona, California. That's where it has shown up in humans. It's also shown up in some animals, believe it or not. What is it? It's a bug that bites your face, hence the nickname the kissing bug. And it has infected about 280,000 people in the United States have the disease, oftentimes without even knowing about it. Now, the good news, apparently it is treatable, but if you don't get treatment, there is no vaccine. There is treatment. If you don't get the other treatment, it could lead to some serious complications. People listen to this, though, and make sure you're not eating your breakfast at this point. People might scratch or rub the bug feces into the wound, into your eyes or your mouth without realizing it, which allows the parasite to enter the body, according to the CDC. The agency explains that the bug passes the parasite in their droppings after biting the person or the animal. If the droppings get into someone's body through a cut in the skin or near the eyes or the mouth, that can lead to the infection. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah. The disease is not spread from person to person like a cold, nor does it spread through casual contact with those infected. Without treatment, the condition can be life-threatening. So some of the, as you can imagine, some of the symptoms: fever, feeling tired, body aches, headache, rash, loss of appetite, diarrhea, vomiting, just like everything else.
Swollen eyelids is one of the symptoms.
Yeah. Others may experience symptoms for years or a lifetime, which is known as the chronic phase of the infection. Yeah. So the kissing bugs. Ugh.
32 states.
32 states, including Missouri and Illinois. There are no vaccines or drugs. Prevention methods. Well-built places if traveling. Use insecticides and bug spray. Wear clothes that cover your skin. And not eating raw fruits and vegetables.
Wait, what?
Ever? What?
Well, as the infection can also be acquired orally or through the mouth via contaminated food. I took that to mean like, well,
unwashed fruit.
Yeah, like you pluck it from a tree and not through the proper, like cleaning process or anything. That's what I took that as, but I could be wrong, obviously. Yeah. It's C-H-A-G-A-S, Chagas disease, or the kissing bug is spreading in the U.S.
Fantastic. Thanks for that.
As if you got nothing else to worry about.
Right.
The pedophiles on the app trying to get your kids and go outside and play, and then they get the kissing disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one
and you
is.
Get it in your eyes.
Ugh.
And if there was a vaccine for it, Florida wouldn't have it anyway.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And if there were a vaccine, they wouldn't allow you to take it. 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Just go inside.
Go right into food.
All right, I won't do food.
Yeah,
All right, I'll do tuck pointing. How about that?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
We'll do tuck pointing.
3 Bay thanks you.
We'll go 3 Bay later. Tuck pointing. John Morelli is a nice man, and I've used him 2 times this summer, and I got to use him one more time before the winter comes. I got some tuck pointing problems on a chimney that I got to fix. But Morelli, quick story. They said to me, oh boy, you're going to need, you got a water problem. You're going to need some tuck pointing. I got a guy, this is what he'll charge you. I was like, well, thank you very much, but I got to go with Morelli. Let me call up John Morelli. So I called him up. He went out and took a look at the house, and he came back and he gave me a bid. So I went to the other person. I was like, thank you, but I'm going to use my guy, Morelli. And, Morelli, yeah, they're the gold standard. Yes, they are. It turned out it was the same price as his guy who was getting me a deal. So go with the guy who's the gold standard, who gives you the same price as the guy who's giving you the deal, the guy who just went on YouTube and looked at a video on how to fix tuck pointing. Look, Morelli's the best. Since 1991, right there on Big Bend, right across the street from St. Louis Closet Company. But you'll never visit the office because all the work is done out in the field. Tuck pointing, chimneys, walkways, porches, foundations, anything brick or stone that needs repair, both residential and commercial, it's Morelli. And you want to get this fixed before the winter time because the freeze and the thaw cycles ruins the joints, ruins the mortar, and then creates the weakness, thus causing all these problems. So how do you get it solved and how do you get it done right? Morelli. Not only am I their spokesman, but I'm also their customer. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center here once again is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, the latest is a crash on westbound 44 at Vandeventer, blocking the 2 left lanes with traffic backed up to Grand. Estimated clearance time there is 7:50. An accident on eastbound 64 at Route DD is off on the shoulder in a construction area and is causing a stop and go back up all the way to the 6470 interchange. The estimated clearance time is 7:25. Eastbound 70 is sun slowed in the Lake St. Louis area. And northbound 55 is running slow from Bayless to Weber. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got a warming trend this week, eventually hot by late this week into the weekend. Highs will be in the 90s, but we still have a cool morning on Tuesday, a low 54 degrees. Then back up to near normal, warming up 82 on Tuesday afternoon and mostly sunny skies. But it is a little hotter by Wednesday, mostly sunny and a high of 89. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
The big, beautiful tax bill just passed. Do you know how these changes will affect your financial plan? What changes has your financial advisor made to take advantage of these opportunities before they expire? Join me, Kevin Lloyd, for my next tax workshop, 314-641-1010. Learn how these changes can benefit you and your family. 314-641-1010.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPLA, registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset. Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a Banner Day.
Across Missouri, designated child care providers are introducing children to a variety of fun and free activities through the Missouri Move Smart program. With this program, providers create environments where children and caregivers are physically active and healthy as they learn, work, and play. Parents, ask your child care provider about their participation in Move Smart. Child care providers boost the health and well-being of the children in your care by becoming a Move Smart recognized program. Sign up at health.mo.gov/MoveSmart.
Hi, I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I want your fixer-upper home. It's crazy to spend a ton of money fixing it up when I will pay you top dollar right now. I don't even care what condition it's in. Your trash is my treasure. No inspections, no contingencies, just cold, hard cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's Mike Robinson, 314-283-0867, or at robangproperties.com.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you. bishopspost.com.
Truck drivers, have you been searching for a more reliable driving job? Get the paychecks and predictability you need as a Schneider driver. Schneider's large selection of driving jobs means you can get the home time that suits your schedule. Choose from daily, weekly, monthly, or sometime in between. Plus, Schneider drivers have access to great benefits with a 401k match and a 24/7 support team. Get the keys to a better driving job. Search openings near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. Tune in to the Press Box with Frank Cusimano every Monday night from 6 to 7 to get Frank's entries of the week. Sign up with promo code FRANK550.
Tune in Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Straight Talk and Retirement with Jeff and Aaron Lapidus for an intimate understanding of the retirement needs you may soon be facing.
McGraw, live in the morning on KTRS.
$7:21 here at Big 550. KTRS. Cardinals lose last night 4-2 in Seattle. I don't like these late night games, but what are you going to do? Cardinals now, they are, they're still hanging around. They're 4.5 games out of first place, 1 game under 500, though they've got the Mets are folding like a house of cards. San Francisco's 3 games back. Cincinnati's 4 games back. Arizona's 4.5 games back. And the Cardinals are 4.5 games back. So the only problem is that there's, 4 teams between the Cardinals and that last wild card spot. But they're not out of it. I mean, they still got a fighting chance. I mean, it isn't like they're 12 games out or 11 games out like Atlanta. But we'll see what happens. The divisional is probably gone, right? Milwaukee's sort of running away with that.
They're 17 games.
17 games out. But Cardinals lose last night. They win a couple, then they lose a couple. They're playing about 500 baseball, which is their record, 72 and 73. So we'll see how all that shakes out. We'll check in with Bob Ramsey a little bit later on. In terms of topics of conversation, a lot of people talking about jobs, with the jobs report that came out. And I've often joked, one of the reasons why I'm in talk radio is because I really didn't know how to find another job. I 25, 30 years ago, I didn't know how to get a job. I just bought a newspaper and looked in the help wanted section. And that's how I looked for a job. I didn't really know how to get a job any other way. Well, today, finding a job, I don't know how, if I had to go find a real job, I don't know how anybody does this. Because I was reading a story yesterday in the Atlantic about jobs. Not the screaming, yelling, let me throw tomatoes at you. We don't have any jobs thanks to Biden. We don't have any jobs thanks to Trump and the tariffs. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the actual blocking and tackling of actually getting a job. Because the story I was reading says that these human resource officers go to artificial intelligence and write a job description. And then they post it on Indeed. And then they post it on whatever, Monster, whatever, right? Whatever job platform they have.
LinkedIn.
Okay. And then I keep reading these stories, right? Once you hit one story, then they send you 8,000 of them, where these people who were fired, downsized, right-sized, upside, downsized, let go, whatever reason, they've now applied to 2,000 jobs and they haven't gotten one response. And so what do? Is they see an artificial intelligence generated job description. They then go to artificial intelligence and write their artificially intelligent resume and then send that into 2,000 jobs. And then once the company gets it, they run it through artificial intelligence to pick out the buzzwords that they want. And so you have a job description, a job resume, and then somebody reading the job resume, all fake. It's all fake. There's not a real human in the entire process.
It's the computer talking to itself.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, I haven't found a job. No, your computer hasn't found, another computer hasn't hired your computer.
No human interaction.
How do you find a job in 2025 if everything is computer generated?
It's who you know.
No, I know Pentium 90. I mean, it's just so insane. It's bonkers. I don't know. How do you find a job in 2025?
Networking. Because you have to find an open job, first of all.
Right. Right. And back 30 years ago, they would say, most of the jobs aren't posted. Right?
They're internal.
They're internal okay, great. So that's good for the 22-year-old who's just graduating. Go take a job, take an internship, take a 6-month consulting, do this, do that, go volunteer. But when you're 40 or 45 or 50 and you've got a house and a kid and a spouse, and you can't volunteer your time, and you're making $100,000, and now you got to go find another job that makes $100,000. Then they tell you, oh, well, this job pays you $80. You won't be happy making $80, so we're going to go with somebody else. Well, hold on a second here. Yeah, I'll be happy making $80. Well, yeah, for the beginning, but then you'll want to go back to making $100. So we're not going to hire you at all. It's like, well, so how, right? This sort of this nightmare scenario of jobs in the 21st century. I don't know how. I mean, I don't know. This is why I have these nightmares about getting fired. Because if I had to find a real job, how would you?
What did we do before the internet?
I don't know.
The classifieds
I mean,
didn't have like
you
went to
friends' parents.
Well, but I mean,
or did you just submit your resume at places that you hoped to, that you thought you might like to work at?
Your resume would be read by a human.
Right.
And so the human would say, oh, well, boy, I see you did this. Oh, I see you did that. Oh, you know what? I volunteer for that organization. Come in, let's talk about it. And maybe, right, there's some sort of human connection. But there's no human connection anymore. It's all done with algorithms.
But I would say most jobs, you have to have an in, one way or another. Because cold calling for jobs is rare out there still, I think. I still think you need to know.
It's funny
somebody.
because, Zach dropped off his resume, and we called him, right? Kristen Carver, who's now La Honcho with the soccer. She won't return my phone calls anymore, but she used to. I'm teasing Kristen. She dropped off her resume. No. We found her at, on a quote unquote cold call. So, I mean,
and when you be more apt to hire someone that you actually saw, like, oh, I saw that person drop off the resume the other day. She looked, as opposed to just going online and getting some random.
Yeah, but I mean, these aren't like, CEO jobs. Right. And, I've been through a couple of these CEO searches. Mm-hmm. Not me, but I've, like the Great Rivers Greenway, did a CEO. Went through a search committee and I was fascinated by, I asked a million questions like, how are you going about, well, they got, 300 applicants. Well, it's one job, 300 applicants. That's, I don't care who ends up winning it. That's like winning the lottery.
Right.
Because 295 people didn't even get a call back, no less, the job. So I don't know how you get a job in the 21st century. And I'm not so sure Indeed is the way to do it because how many times do you read these job descriptions on Indeed and like the same job description shows up all the time? Like Boeing is constantly looking for, executive vice presidents or whatever. And it's like, what? I don't get it. My heart goes out to anybody who's looking for a job in 2025. I don't know how you do it.
So like Boeing, for instance, they're hiring, I guess, what do you call them, scabs or something, like, because they're still on strike.
Yeah.
So they're hiring big time at this point. What does that look like?
I don't know. How would you go?
It's clearly a high profile. It's not like any schmo off the street can go in and start building planes.
Right. Where are you going to go?
You look good. Your poll's done. You're in.
Where are you going to find, engineers who can? Yeah.
That's right. That's what I was thinking. Like, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't. The whole thing. But people like, seriously, how'd you get into radio? Seriously, I didn't know any other way to get any other job. I applied for real jobs, but nobody would hire me.
But do you think so much of it had to do with like the specific, back in the day, you applied for the specific job that you wanted as opposed to just throwing your resume out there into the stratosphere and hoping somebody bites, right? Because you don't have access to knowing, like with the internet.
There's got to be some of
like
that.
You'd walk up to,
right. So companies know that you can apply for 700 jobs. So I need to set up a system where I can filter out. If one person's hiring or applying for 700 jobs, they're getting thousands of resumes. How do they figure out what those resumes are? You can't read them all.
Right.
So you create a system where the computer generates them. So you create another barrier to human interaction, which then makes it harder to find the right person. I don't know. I don't know. It's bonkers. But as everyone's talking about the economy and jobs and numbers and everything, you just stop for a second. You're like, how do you even find a job today?
Do you ever think like, what would you want to do outside of talk?
Oh, I don't.
Think about that for a minute.
I really don't. I really don't have any other skills. Same. I can talk. Oh, I can talk.
Woodworking, if you could make that a job.
I don't know. I'm sure I could be a boss. I could tell people what to do. That's pretty easy, right?
Sure.
How tough is it to be a CEO? You just show up, right? You be nice to people.
Right,
you tell people what to do. I could be a boss. Let's put it this way. I could be a program director. I could be Steve Moore. What does that guy do? Seriously. Love you, Steve. I know you're listening. 7:32 here, Big 550 KTRS, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. A crash on westbound 44 past Grand is blocking the left lane now. Estimated clearance time is 7:50. They've cleared an accident on eastbound 64 at Route DD, but traffic is still backed up to the 6470 interchange. Eastbound 64 bogs down around 170. Westbound 64 slows down in front of Forest Park. Northbound 270 is heavy from 44 to 64. The drive time from 270 and Tesson Ferry to Manchester is 12 minutes. Eastbound 70 is sun slowed in the Lake St. Louis area. And northbound 55 is running slow from Bayless to Weber. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. If the severe storms have you saying, oh, hell, bring your car, truck, SUV, or van to Dents Express for a free hail damage repair evaluation. Dents Express will have your ride looking like new again, and they'll even take care of the insurance paperwork. That's Dents Express at dentsexpressstl.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
We'll revisit this in the 9 o'clock hour because a couple of good text messages coming along. You could be the perfect person for a job, but AI will drop you because your resume is missing one requirement. Employers are missing out on great candidates. Great point as well. All right, let's do this. Weather-wise, for the next couple of days, we've got temperatures are going to be in the 80s today, and then don't look now, mid-90s by Friday. Not a drop of rain anywhere in the forecast. Right now, it's 53 degrees. At 7:33, let's go back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
The man charged with trying to assassinate Donald Trump while he played golf last year in South Florida stood before a group of potential jurors in a Florida courtroom, and he said he was sorry for bringing you all in here. Ryan Routh is representing himself in the trial that began Monday in the federal courthouse in Fort Pierce, Florida. The Supreme Court is clearing the way for federal agents to conduct sweeping immigration operations in Los Angeles, another victory for President Donald Trump at the High Court. The justices Monday lifted a restraining order from a judge who found patrols were conducting indiscriminate arrests in L.A. The Missouri House gave preliminary approval yesterday to a plan asking voters to make it harder for citizens to change the state constitution through ballot question. The resolution will go for a final vote in the Missouri House today. And another big-name Democrat is backing Illinois Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton in her bid to replace retiring U.S. Senator Dick Durbin. U.S. Representative Danny Davis announced his endorsement for Stratton. 53 degrees. Time now is 7:34. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
Now let's talk about Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery. What are you doing? For 10-plus years, Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery has been making barbecue in a gas station. Recently, was it Yelp came out with an article on the 10 best restaurants in the country in gas stations. So, right, you think so? Well, how many are there? Apparently, there are a whole lot. Well, number 5 on the list was Three Bay. Personally, it should have been a little higher, but we'll take 5 for now. Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Great barbecue inside a gas station. Now, what do I mean inside a gas station? Well, years ago, 10, 11 years ago, they cleaned out all the grease pits and the brake pads and everything else, and they installed a barbecue joint. It's not fancy. But barbecue never has really ever been fancy. It's all about the quality of the barbecue. It's West County Phillips 66 gas station. Now, where is West County Phillips 66 gas station? That's that nondescript convenience store located on the corner of Clayton Road and Woods Mill, right by Lamp and Lantern, as 141 sort of flies right over. It's right there. You've been by it a million times. You don't even know. It's just a regular gas station with a convenience store. Well, inside that convenience store has got wonderful baked goods and a wonderful barbecue joint called Three Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Dine in, carry out. You see everybody from local landscapers who are in the neighborhood looking for lunch to guys in suits. I see, for some reason, I see a lot of clergy over there. I always see nuns or priests or pastors or rabbis. I see a ton of clergy over there at Three Way Barbecue and Bakery. You see a couple of talk show hosts pop in every once in a while. So it's a nice eclectic mix of customers because you know what? Barbecue. Everybody loves good barbecue. So turn a friend on, bring one over, dine in, carry out, cater, 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. We'll see you there. 3Bay Barbecue and Bakery.com.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit cantorinjurylaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
McGraw Millhaven on KTRS.
$7:37 here. Let's go straight to Stephen Portnoy, ABC News national correspondent. The Supreme Court once again, Stephen Portnoy, opens the door to a Trump policy that is somewhat controversial in some areas.
This has to do with ICE and how it operates in Southern California. There was a judge in L.A. who ruled in June that ICE officers in and around L.A. cannot engage in profiling based on where a person works, the kind of job they do, landscaping, construction, working at restaurants, for example, whether they speak Spanish or with an accent, or based on their apparent race or ethnicity. The reason this is important and interesting and beyond the interests of people in the country illegally is the idea that U.S. citizens say they've been caught up in this. There's one man who was cited by Sonia Sotomayor in her dissent who spoke to a local television station in L.A., and there's video to back it up. He was stopped by ICE, said, "I'm an American, bro." They didn't believe him. He was asked, put on the spot, "What hospital were you born at?" And he couldn't, under pressure, remember. So they threw him against a fence and tried to handcuff him. And ultimately, he showed them a driver's license, which they confiscated. And he was let go. Brett Kavanaugh, acknowledging that this happens, says in his separate concurring opinion that if citizens are interrupted by ICE, stopped by ICE, they're free to go after the brief encounter. But Sonia Sotomayor in her dissent, pointing to these examples, says, quote, "We should not have to live in a country where the government can seize anyone who looks Latino, speaks Spanish, and appears to work a low-wage job." She says that this is going to threaten people who happen to look a certain way, speak a certain way, and appear to work a certain type of legitimate job that pays very little. Her words in her dissent. This was 6-3, and you had Kavanaugh writing, not on behalf of the court, but on behalf of himself, explaining how he feels, and you have Sonia Sotomayor writing the dissent. This was a stay. The court did not fulsomely explain why it made this move or set out any kind of a new precedent or establish new law or jurisprudence. It simply said whatever that judge said in June no longer applies.
Yeah, it's interesting when you talk about undocumented workers, and in some ways it makes sense, right? I mean, if you're looking for undocumented workers and they speak Spanish and they look Latino, you could assume, right, reasonably that, hey, there might be a chance you might not have the proper documents. But we also know that undocumented workers, a large part of them, come into this country on a visa and overstay their visa. So they could be from Ireland, they could be from England, they could be from Germany, who, quote-unquote, look, quote-unquote, American, but are here without the proper documentation because they overstayed their visa, and you wouldn't necessarily pull them over because they don't necessarily look like an American.
The idea that it's common sense is what Kavanaugh was getting at. The idea that in Los Angeles in particular, there are estimates that as many as 10% of the population is in the country illegally. And he says, like you point out, McGraw, if we have this population of illegal people illegally in the country, and they work in a particular type of job, or they are known to, gather in particular places for day labor work, why should ICE, charged with enforcing the immigration law, be encumbered by a judge's view that they're profiling because of a person's race? And, if it happens that there is overlap, why would you, with respect to the way people speak, the language they speak? But it gets some elements of reasonable suspicion that are well understood by people who are closer to the law in this respect.
but it has to do with, all the factors you put together. Tom Homan at the White House yesterday said that one element of reasonable suspicion could be that a person has an MS-13 tattoo that's visible to the officer. All right, well, that is reasonable. But when it gets to other things, such as, well, he speaks with an accent, or, maybe he's dressed a certain way, all these things, that's where it starts to get a bit more fuzzy. And you have this example that Sonia Sotomayor noted of this man who said, hey, I'm an American, and they didn't believe him. And even when he tried to demonstrate proof, a real ID, which is this new driver's license that all the states now have, or they're supposed to have, that demonstrate that you have proven your identity and your citizenship, it wasn't enough. And they suggested, I guess, that it had been faked. They wanted to take it in. So ultimately, the question becomes, at what point do we as Americans sort of turn over our freedom to the law enforcement agencies, where we're all of a sudden subject to their whims? The whole idea of, popular sovereignty and this idea of ordered liberty, that we don't live in a tyranny, is based on the idea that the citizen has particular rights not to be stopped or harassed by law enforcement. And that's what Sonia Sotomayor is warning about. And Brett Kavanaugh simply describes it as a brief encounter after which you're free to go.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting debate, an interesting topic, and one in which goes to the heart of what we're dealing with right now. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News. Great stuff as always. Have yourself a good day.
You bet.
You got 7:43 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk about Beautiful, the Carole King musical. I was in New York last week, and I was walking down a street, and I was like, hey, where's that Brill building? And I stopped, and I looked, and I found it, and I looked at it, and sort of a nondescript building just north of Times Square. And I just stared at that building, and I thought, man, somebody should do a musical on that building, on that Brill building, where so many great artists got their start. It was a building in New York. Carole King was there, along with Neil Sedaka. I mean, the list goes, there's too many to name here, but Beautiful goes into a little bit about the story about the Brill building, and that's where Beautiful, the Carole King musical, starts, because all these great singers and songwriters went to this building. They got hired with all these different record companies and record labels, and that's how they began. And it's just this nondescript building you walk by in New York City, not realizing how much history was in that building. Beautiful, the Carole King musical. That's what this is. We've all heard of Carole King. We might know a song or two, but do you really know the story? It's a wonderful story, and she's attached to so much great music. And you want to see the musical? Stages is putting it on this month. It starts September 19th, and it runs through October 19th. This is one of those you'll walk out and you'll say, I had no idea. I had no idea she was attached to so many great songs. Beautiful, the Carole King musical at Stages, locally produced, and right here in our own hometown. Go take advantage of some of the great art we have each and every week here in St. Louis. Stages does it again. 4 tickets, stagesstlouis.org. Stagesstlouis.org. 7:45 here at Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Good morning, Captain Paul.
Good morning, McGraw. A crash on westbound 44 past Candace Lane. Some clearance time is 7:50, so that's just 5 minutes from now. Eastbound 64 is busy around Route DD and from Clayton Road to Big Bend. Westbound 64 slows down in front of Forest Park. Northbound 270 is heavy from 55 all the way to 64. The drive time from 270 and Tesson Ferry to Manchester is 17 minutes. Eastbound 70 is sun slowed from Highway W to the Lake St. Louis area. And northbound 55 is running slow from Bayless to Weber. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550. KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
Our stretch of fall-like weather has come to an end. We have more cloud cover present this morning That will lead to mostly sunny skies by the afternoon, and temperatures today warmer with a high of 82 degrees. Overnight tonight, we fall back into the 60s, and we continue with the warm-up beginning tomorrow and through the weekend. We have many 90s in the forecast ahead. It stays dry. With your first solar forecast, I'm meteorologist Leah Hill for the Big 550 KTRS.
The City of Wildwood invites you to join the celebration as it celebrates its 30th anniversary. Celebrate Wildwood will be Saturday, September 20th, kicking off with its parade at 10 a.m. and then followed by all-day activities with fun for the whole family. A large assortment of kids' activities for all ages, and for adults, a vendor market, food vendors, music and dancing, and the night wraps up with a spectacular fireworks show. For more information, go to cityofwildwood.com/celebrate Wildwood. Consider yourself invited.
It's Miller Furniture's Labor Day clearance event going on now through September 9th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, you'll save up to 75% off our list price on all in-stock furniture and up to 50% off select custom orders at our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms.
Plus, shop our Stickley galleries in Fairview Heights and Belleville and take 40% off MSRP on all in-stock and custom order Stickley furniture. We have new and fresh looks on display like Flex Steel leather reclining sofas with power headrest and lumbar support, or our unique heirloom quality Amish-made furniture.
Are you ready to sleep better and save big? Right now, save up to $800 on select adjustable mattress sets from Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster. Or get half-price Chatham & Wells mattresses with the purchase of an adjustable base.
Don't miss our Labor Day clearance event going on now through September 9th. And check out Miller Furniture on Facebook for additional sales offers and new showroom arrivals.
At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
When it comes to mortgage lenders, I know you have no shortage of options. But are you working with someone local who can truly simplify the process? I'm David Goldberg with the Goldberg Group. And as a St. Louis home purchase expert, I know this market inside and out. I specialize in tough-to-complete situations for borrowers who are self-employed, looking to buy and sell at the same time, and may have been turned down somewhere else. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or seasoned homeowner, you can trust me with all of your home financing needs. Call or text me at 314-471-4030. 314-471-4030.
I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Thanks, Farmer Dave. Summer may be winding down, but that means the great weather is moving in. Time to get the convertibles, motorcycles, and sports cars out. We're selling them at a brisk pace. As a result, we need to buy even more of them. You have a very clean, classic, collectible, convertible, sports car, or even an everyday car you want to sell. How about an entire collection? We'll buy it all. And if we're buying them, of course we sell them too. Check out our site for some of the finest hand-picked vehicles for sale in the country. Ours are that good. Give us a look. It'll be worth your time.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
Hi, it's Jill Farmer for Premier Heating and Cooling. Summer temps sure put our air conditioners to the test. A few years ago, before I knew about Premier Heating and Cooling, our air conditioner was on its last legs. We decided to push the envelope and try to limp through another St. Louis summer before replacing it. We went away on vacation and came back to discover our air conditioning unit had gone on the fritz while we were gone, and we ended up with all kinds of trouble, including warped wood floors. That delay in replacing our worn-out unit was an expensive mistake. If you're limping through and you know it's time for a replacement unit, our friends at Premier Heating and Cooling can take care of you and even work with you on financing. Or if you haven't taken the time to really get your air conditioner checked out and make sure it's operating at peak efficiency, which will really help on your bills and help with the life of your air conditioning unit, Premier Heating and Cooling is the place to go. Excellent rating with the Better Business Bureau. So many of their new customers are referred by happy customers like me. PremierHeatingCooling.net. 636-916-1122.
Live from Studio 550, this is The McGraw Show on KTRS.
I'm old enough to remember the iPhone 1, the original. Now we're up to 17. Mike Dubusky, ABC News tech reporter. The iPhone 17. What else is there to put in a new phone?
That is the big question. This year, the argument that Apple is making is a pretty big design change and a new version of the iPhone. What we're thinking is going to be called the iPhone Air, an ultra-slim, ultra-light version of this phone. You might remember the MacBook Air, the original commercial for that. They pulled it out of a manila envelope, and everyone in the room kind of gasped. It's like, wow, a computer can be that thin. It seems like they're kind of going for a similar philosophy here, seemingly to address the crowd that's complained that the iPhone's gotten a little too big, a little too ungainly in recent years. But something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on if they do pull the wraps off an ultra-slim iPhone is battery life. As we learned with the iPhone mini a few years ago, the smaller the body of a phone, the less room you have for batteries, and that will impact battery life, obviously. The iPhone mini, at least in its first generation, did have pretty lackluster battery life, so something to keep an eye on here as they make this phone a little bit smaller. Still, this follows Samsung launching a slim version of its Galaxy phone, the Galaxy S25 Edge, earlier this year. So it does seem like that Apple is on the beginning end of a trend here with a slim iPhone.
So really the only big thing is it's slimmer. That's it. And we got to question the battery life.
Well, we think that it's going to slot between the base phone and the pro-level phone, so the existing stuff is all going to be there as normal, right? Bigger cameras, bigger screens, higher refresh rates, all the stuff that you would normally expect with a normal sort of TikTok cycle. However, this is kind of the thing that they're now positioning as like an alternative, whether it's a pro-level phone or not, which I don't think it's really intended to be. It's kind of meant to be a more accessible device. This is kind of for people who want something that's a little bit lighter. There's your average sort of, kind of processor upgrades that come alongside all this as well. In addition, there is a new software kind of thing to talk about here, the iOS 26. This is something that launched in beta earlier this year. I've had it on my Apple devices for a few months now. This is a pretty big change. It's a pretty big design change. They call it liquid glass, where a lot of the sort of buttons and sliders and things that you normally interact with are now translucent, and you can kind of see past them. A lot of people have kind of questioned whether that's actually good for our eyes, whether it's actually really readable or not. I will say I've gotten used to it in the last few months. I actually kind of like it at this point, but yeah, that's something also. If you have an older Apple device, if you have an older iPhone, and you are not really in the market for a new device, but you do want to update your software, it's going to be a big change this year. That's something to think about.
All right. You had a chance to drive the new autonomous GM vehicles?
Semi-autonomous, yeah. So this is, I spent the weekend with the 2026 Cadillac Escalade IQL. A really tough weekend, McGraw, I have to say. But this is the biggest and most expensive electric vehicle that General Motors has in mass production right now. It is 19 feet long, so it was a really interesting parking situation here in New York City. However, what I really wanted to try was Super Cruise. This is a technology that GM has offered for a few years now. Their latest iteration of it is available on the Escalade IQL. This is a hands-free Super Cruise system, so you can take your hands off the wheel and it will speed up and slow down with traffic. It will keep you centered in your lane, and you don't have to really do anything. What I thought was really interesting, it was a comparison to Ford's Blue Cruise system so that I got a chance to try out a few months ago. These are, similar systems. They have little cameras mounted on the steering column that measure whether you're looking at the road or not. They'll flash at you, and GM will actually vibrate your seat if you're not, and eventually it will pull the car over to the side of the road. But to have a comparison between these two things I thought was really interesting. I drove up and down the New Jersey Turnpike from kind of South Jersey to New York City, where I live, and in both of these vehicles, and both handle it kind of like a train. You kind of just sit there and you look out the window sometimes, but mostly you look at the road in front of you, and it was actually, after a certain point, you got kind of used to it. However, I will say with the Escalade, it's actually able to do passing maneuvers, which the Ford cannot. It will come up behind a car, it will look for space in the lane next to you, put on the blinker, move over into the lane and pass the vehicle, and then get back into its original lane. I thought that was a really interesting, somewhat disconcerting thing to see it do, even without me intervening at all. Although I will say, on emptier roads, sometimes it would just change lanes seemingly with no reason, with no car around me. So maybe some kinks left to iron out.
So you were driving on the Jersey Turnpike in an Escalade, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it decides to pass the car in front of you, and it changes lanes and speeds ahead, and then goes back into the right-hand lane.
Well, it's if the car in front of you is going slower than your set speed, right?
Yeah.
So you set, of course, the speed limit in McGraw is 65 miles an hour on the Jersey Turnpike. But if some truck or bus or whatever that is going slower than that, and you come up behind it, it will, make sure that there's nothing coming up behind you, get over into the lane, and then execute it.
And the Jersey Turnpike, a lot of people know, a lot of people don't know. It's a lot of starts and stops.
Mm-hmm.
You're going 55 1 minute, you're going 25 the next minute, you're standing still the next minute. It handled that with a breeze.
It did. And I will say the start and stop stuff was really, really nice, because that's kind of the most stressful part of driving. It's like, especially getting in and around the city itself, it's bumper to bumper, and you're moving 5-10 miles an hour maybe to get through a tunnel or go over a bridge. One weird thing that did happen to me on this trip was at those slow speeds, below 15 miles an hour, occasionally the steering wheel would ping pong. It was never enough to move out of the lane or really put us in any danger or anything like that, but it would just kind of move, and it didn't seem like that was motivated by anything. So I have to ask GM exactly what led to that, but still seemingly some stuff to be worked on here. But this is technology that works on more roads than Ford's equivalent system. It was able to win Motor Trend's Best Tech of the Year award earlier this year, so it was really interesting to get a chance to try it out.
All right, so let me ask you this question, because this is fascinating to me. So you had to drive it to get on the highway. Yes. You had to drive it to get off the highway.
Yes.
But you didn't have to drive it on. What's the point? I mean, what you can't go in the back and take a snooze, can you? You can't read a book while this is going on. So what's the point of the technology?
GM will tell you fatigue or fatigue alleviation, right? The driving is an active act, and you're putting energy into it, and this removes some of that fatigue. It is convenient, I will say. It was kind of nice to just let it do its thing and not have to really think about it. But, of course, you do still have to pay attention. You can't, watch a movie. You can't play on your phone or read a book or anything like that. The thing I compare it most often to, possibly because I take the train back and forth from South Jersey to New York a lot, it's like sitting on a train, right? You kind of just sit there, but you can't occupy yourself with that much.
But they say you can't be on your phone. Well, people are on their phone while driving on the Jersey Turnpike.
Right.
You're not driving on the Jersey Turnpike, and you still can't use your phone?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you did. I'm sure you did at some point check your messages on your phone.
Well, the thing was, it all goes through the car itself. So I did get messages, but they were read to me. It was, it's an interesting experience. I think you're getting at a key question there, which is really what is this for at the end of the day if it can't handle 100% of the driving? But it's a step in that direction, and it does seem like GM is kind of out front here. Ford is pretty close, and Tesla is also sort of in the conversation, although they've kind of fallen behind here a little bit. But yeah, that's a good question. It's like, if you can't really do anything, if it's not actually allowing you to do more, then what is it really for?
Right. I can't take a snooze, right? So, yeah, what a world. Mike Dubusky, the car was driving him on the Jersey Turnpike last week. Have yourself a good week, Mike. Be safe, and we'll check in with you next week.
Sounds good, McGraw. Take care.
You got it. 7:59 here, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, they've cleared a crash on westbound 44 at Grand, and traffic is on the move there. Eastbound 64 is bumper to bumper at Route DD and busy around Clarkson. Westbound 64 slows down in front of Forest Park. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, weather-wise for the next couple of days, we're going to be in the 80s today. We'll touch 81. Not a drop of rain anywhere in the forecast for the next couple of days. We start today at 81, overnight tonight, low of 60. We start to warm up, 89 tomorrow, 89 on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, low to mid 90s, 53 degrees right now, 8 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 1061, K291CW St. Louis.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A win at the U.S. Supreme Court for the Trump administration, allowing immigration raids to resume in Los Angeles while a legal challenge proceeds. Now allowed, targeting people based solely on their race, the fact that they speak Spanish, and the type of work they do. Here's ABC Chief White House Correspondent Mary Bruce.
A 6-3 decision, the conservative majority did not explain its reasoning. The Attorney General, though, this morning is welcoming the move, while liberals on the court are blasting it. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, in her dissent, writing, "We should should not have to live in a country where the government can seize anyone who looks Latino, speaks Spanish, and appears to work a low-wage job. Now, this ruling is not the final word, but it does allow these tactics to continue while the litigation plays out.
The Israeli army is telling hundreds of thousands of people they must leave Gaza City as the IDF moves forward with its expanded operations. Hundreds are downtown refusing to leave, saying they have nowhere else to go. Ukraine's president says more than 20 people were killed in a Russian attack in eastern Ukraine as they waited in line for their pension checks. The White House is denying that President Trump drew the picture and wrote the poem that appeared in the so-called Jeffrey Epstein 50th birthday book. ABC's Jay O'Brien's on Capitol Hill.
Part of a cache of records subpoenaed by the Republican-led House Oversight Committee from convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's estate, the letter includes lines of text framed by a crudely drawn outline of a woman's body. The typed signature reads Donald J. Trump, and in thick marker beneath what appears to be a handwritten Donald. The Wall Street Journal first reported the letter's existence in July. Trump has called it fake, promptly filing a defamation lawsuit against the Journal and its conservative owner, Rupert Murdoch, for $10 billion.
The Missouri House of Representatives have advanced a bill containing new congressional maps that will likely help the Republicans in the midterms. This is ABC News.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the Control Option Mindset featuring the Lifetime and Generational Income Maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
Scott, can you believe it's already been more than a decade since the Queen of Carpets sold flooring to St. Louis area contractors?
I know, but I don't have to be a king to offer contractors today's lowest prices.
Yes, contractors owe it to their customers and themselves to shop at Best Buy Flooring for the largest in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile.
Plus 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and Metro East.
Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy. Best Buy Flooring.
Oklahoma traffic investigators are trying to determine why a bus carrying high school softball players flipped on a rural highway last night.
The Minco, Oklahoma girls softball team was returning from a game about 30 miles away when its bus rolled over on an Oklahoma highway Monday evening, critically injuring at least 6 of the 13 people on board. The bus driver, who's also the coach of the team, was confirmed to be one of those injured in the one-vehicle crash about 40 miles southwest of Oklahoma City.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Nationwide tests show a troubling trend in education is continuing.
The nation's report card measures academic achievement in 12th and 8th graders, and the numbers show a continued decline. In reading, 32% of high school seniors scored below basic, meaning they could not find details in text to help them understand meaning. The average reading score is the lowest since this assessment began in 1992. In math, just 33% of high school seniors were considered academically prepared for college-level math. Brian Clark, ABC News.
The report card continuing to blame the pandemic for learning losses. Nepal tried to ban social media this week, and the nation protested loudly. When crowds took to the streets of Kathmandu, police opened fire on them, killing 19. The protesters then burned the homes of some of Nepal's top leaders and the parliament building as well. The prime minister has now resigned over it, and the social media ban has been lifted. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
56 degrees at 8:05. Here's what's happening now. There's a renewed effort to solve a decades-long murder of a Dairy Queen manager in Ellisville. During a news conference yesterday, former St. Louis County Police Chief Tim Fitch announced he reopened the murder of 47-year-old Margaret Walsh. Walsh was found shot to death at the Dairy Queen on Clayton Road back in April of 1980. Investigators have resubmitted evidence to the crime lab for modern-day DNA and ballistic testing. Anyone with any information is urged to call the Ellisville Police Department or Crime Stoppers at 1-866-371-TIPS. An investigation is underway after a body of a man was found in the Mississippi River in St. Louis. Police say the victim was discovered in the area of First Street and Shoto. Police are still working to identify the victim. A cause of death is pending autopsy results. If a victim of human trafficking gave you a silent hand gesture asking for help, would you recognize it? KTRS's Sobe Bay reports on what to look for.
A victim of domestic abuse was able to alert an onlooker to her plight at a California convenience store, all without raising the suspicions of her alleged abuser, who had accompanied her to the store. She used a simple one-handed gesture that is made by showing an open palm, then tucking your thumb inward and closing the rest of your fingers over the thumb to trap it. It's often made behind the victim's back so the abductor can't see it. The teen told police she learned the signal from TikTok, as did another abducted teen in New York who gave the signal from a moving car. With human trafficking on the rise, abuse investigators want everyone to know what the hand signal means if they see it. For more information on human trafficking or domestic abuse, call 1-800-799-SAFE. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
Missouri officially has a new Attorney General. Yesterday, Catherine Hanaway was sworn in as Missouri's 45th Attorney General in a private ceremony at the Missouri Supreme Court building. She took the oath of office on her son John's Bible, administered by the Honorable Ginger Gooch, her former law partner and a judge on the Supreme Court of Missouri. Hanaway is replacing Andrew Bailey, who resigned to take a job as the co-deputy director of the FBI. Governor Mike Kehoe has ordered the Missouri State Capitol Dome to shine orange beginning at sunrise today until sunrise tomorrow in recognition of September as Hunger Action Month. The lighting of the dome was done in coordination with Feeding Missouri, a coalition of the 6 Missouri food banks working to provide hunger relief to all of Missouri's 114 counties and the city of St. Louis. Orange is the national color of hunger awareness and hunger relief. It is used each September to unify actions across the country during Hunger Action Month and as a visible reminder that hunger affects every community. More than 1 million individuals in Missouri rely on food provided by Feeding Missouri members annually. For more information on Feeding Missouri and its ongoing efforts to end hunger, visit feedingmissouri.org. And U.S. Steel's plan to shift some operations away from Granite City Works will not lead to layoffs. The company said yesterday there will be no idling of the facility and it will be maintained in an operational state. U.S. Steel previously announced plans to move the processing of steel slabs away from Granite City to plants in Pennsylvania and Indiana. It's part of the company's restructuring following its $14 billion sale to Nippon Steel Corporation this past June. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. 56 degrees. Time now is 8:08. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
You know him as the voice of Billikens basketball. It's time for sports with Bob Ramsey on the McGraw Show, powered by Balding Electric on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, it's 8:09 here, Big 550 KTRS. Bob Ramsey joins us every Tuesday. Of course, he's on the afternoon show with Josh and Heidi, and of course, he's the voice of the Billikens, and he joins us every Tuesday to talk a little sports. Good morning, Bob Ramsey.
McGraw, good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm going to ask you, we usually have lighthearted conversations. I'm going to ask you a very serious question, and I want you to give me a truthful answer. You ready?
I may.
Did you win the lottery?
I would not have picked up the phone had I.
The lottery ticket was sold in St. Louis County.
Yeah, my wife handles the lottery tickets, and she's on probation here. I'm very, very upset that she didn't go up to Spanish Lake and get that ticket. I'm very angry.
Well, what's interesting is that if she did go up to Spanish Lake and she did buy that ticket, she wouldn't answer your phone call.
That is a great point. Yeah, I'd have to hire a detective to track her down, no doubt.
I mean, what percentage do you think of St. Louis metropolitan area knows the person who won the lottery?
It's funny. We had a segment on the Heidi Show yesterday about how St. Louis is parochial. What high school did you go to? And really, it's a way to, well, where are you from? And you and I may know the same person. It's just kind of a funny town that way. And I'll bet you that at least 20% of our metro area knows who that is. Or knows that person.
I would say 20% of the population knows the person who won it or knows someone who knows the person.
Oh, I bet it's higher than that. I know somebody that knows that guy or lady. We have a weird, fun town in that regard.
I was yesterday when we found out that it was sold in Missouri. I was hoping that it wasn't St. Louis metropolitan area because I knew it wasn't me, and I didn't want anybody I knew winning it. I'd be bummed. I mean, I love you, Bob Ramsey, but I don't want you winning the lottery and me not winning the lottery.
Well, yeah, I get that. I would have taken care of you.
Okay.
I would have bought you dinner.
All right, good. You would throw me a hundy.
Here's why I'm unhappy that it was St. Louis, because now I guess, I don't know if it's like blackjack or not, where the odds start over every day, but, what are the odds it's going to be St. Louis again? So I'm not very happy.
Yeah, solid enough. That Missouri football game, have you seen a more bizarre game? I mean, that game Saturday had everything.
It did. Now, I only saw highlights after the fact because I do Lindenwood University football, and we were at Appalachian State in Boone, North Carolina, which, by the way, off the charts, gorgeous. The people were great. It was really a fabulous setting. But what I love most about the Missouri game, though, was you've got a tandem of running backs that look like having two guys that can be dominant on their own or together. That bodes very well for this season to be able to control the game. And then Pavula, the quarterback, that dude can throw. So I'm very excited about it. I know there had been questions about the offensive line, and I guess that'll remain till you get into the teeth of the SEC schedule. But I was very, very encouraged.
I liked the fact that they were down 21-6. I mean, they very easily could have gone the other way. They fought back. Yeah. They tied it up at halftime and then, ended up winning. So, I mean, they sort of faced adversity, were able to come back. So, but, I mean, the game had everything. It had a mixed extra point. It had a run back. They were down 21-6, and they tied it up at halftime. That was a crazy half.
It really was, and you're right. And one of the other things I love is that I think, and it's been growing pretty steadily, so it's not like this was like one in a million. But when Mizzou moved to the SEC, because I used to live in the South and going to LSU games and things like that, but I said the Missouri fan base is going to have to step up their game. And I will tell you that they are just about there. It was a marvelous atmosphere by all accounts, and I think the fan base and their game, not only just with sellouts, but with emotion and attitude and tailgating and all that kind of stuff, it has really, really become big time. I think that's awesome.
We were at the game. Before the game, we were standing in line to get our soda and popcorn, whatever. And the guy behind me out of nowhere says, as we're waiting in line, "I kind of miss the days when you didn't have to wait online for anything around here."
Oh my God, isn't that a St. Louis/Missouri attitude? Oh, brother!
I'm glad.
But very typical. That's typical of us.
Yeah, those 6 and 6 years, boy, it sure was nice to run up and grab a beer and come right back.
Oh, brother! Oh, what a shame.
What happened to your Lindenwood Lions?
Well, they were playing up a level. App State in the Sun Belt, by the way. So are the Ragin' Cajuns, who Mizzou will play this week. That's a legitimate. Kind of second-tier program, second-tier league. There's really three levels now. You've got your Power Four, then you still got your also FBS. You got that next level, which has the Sun Belt and other leagues like that. Then you go to one, used to be called 1AA. It's FCS. That's where Lindenwood is. But App State is in that league. They're very, very good with a great tradition. Lindenwood really competed, lost by one score on the road. I think it was an encouraging step forward after kind of getting run off the field in week one. at St. Thomas up in the Twin Cities. So I thought it was pretty good progress, and we'll see. We'll see. Next week, you go to this coming week, go to Charleston Southern, first league game for Lindenwood, Ohio Valley game, and so I think progress is being made. I was very encouraged.
Who's your color man?
Well, actually, it's weird. On TV for home games, I do the play-by-play with Zach Zook, who's terrific, and on radio, he does the play-by-play and I do color. So we just kind of flip the script a little bit. And so Zach does the play-by-play on radio. It's a lot of fun.
All right, good. Bob Ramsey, what's coming up on the show this afternoon? Got anything to tease us with?
Are you kidding me?
I forgot. You're
the first person I've talked to today.
That's because your wife won the lottery and she left you.
She's gone.
She's gone. Bob Ramsey, always a pleasure. Good to hear your voice. Get up and start reading the news, and we'll tune in starting at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Thanks for checking in.
Thanks, pal. Talk to you later.
All right, 8:16 here, Big 550 KTRS. St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center. Here is Captain Paul Kopsky.
McGraw, no accidents, but eastbound 64 is bumper to bumper at Route DD and busy from McKnight to Big Bend. Westbound 64 slows down in front of Forest Park. Northbound 270 heavy from 55 all the way to 64. The drive time from 270 on Tesson Ferry to Manchester is 17 minutes. Eastbound 70 is sun slowed in the Lake St. Louis area. And northbound 55 is stop and go at times at Bayless and remains heavy at Weber. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
From the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk, local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. woodsbasementsystems.com.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We've got a warming trend this week, eventually hot by late this week into the weekend. Highs will be in the 90s, but we still have a cool morning on Tuesday, a low 54 degrees. Then back up to near normal, warming up 82 on Tuesday afternoon and mostly sunny skies. But it is a little hotter by Wednesday, mostly sunny and a high of 89. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Raise your hand if you hate paying overdraft fees. No, that's me. I'll be there. I hate paying overdraft fees, right? Every once in a while, you get short for a month, and some bill hits your account before you expect it to hit, and all of a sudden, you find yourself in the negative. Then, of course, they charge you $40, $50, $60, and all of a sudden, that $3 tube of toothpaste costs you $63, right? Well, at Neighbors Credit Union, they have a way to stop that in its tracks. It's a new account called Debit All Day, and what they do is they stop you and they stop charging you overdraft fees. Yeah, thanks. That's one of the things Neighbors Credit Union found out when they went out to open up a new checking account for the 21st century. It's called Debit All Day, and people love it because it's that and so much more. So if you're looking for an account where you keep your own money and you reduce all those fees and all those nickel and dime charges and everything else, Debit All Day could be a perfect account for you. Find out more. Neighbors Credit Union, 8 area locations. They've been around a long time, since the 1920s. They originally started out as a credit union for letter carriers. Well, years and years ago, they opened it up for everybody. So now we can all take advantage of all the great things Neighbors Credit Union can offer. 8 area locations. To find the one nearest you, just go to neighborscu.org. Neighborscu.org. Find out more about their new accounts. Debit All Day. You'll love it. Find out more. Neighborscu.org.
Mike Lippert here with Lee C. Lumber Company. We're a family-owned company that's been providing quality wood products to builders, contractors, and homeowners in the St. Louis metro area since 1872. You've heard McGraw mention our knowledgeable staff, excellent customer service, and the best of woods. In addition to our lumber yards, we're a proud supplier of Timber Tech and Decorators Decking. Decking with unrivaled real wood looks. For the best of woods and decking, LeeCLumber.com.
Hey, it's John Carney. A lot of conversations with the folks over at Allen Roofing, pretty much asking advice, because I know a lot of people got smacked by that storm, and he had some great advice for people to think about. First off, be careful of who you talk to when you're going to get some work done. Make sure there's an agreement and the scope of work is laid out in that contract. Also, as you can imagine, a lot of contractors are busy. Give them some time, and you know what? Allen Roofing will come put a tarp on your roof at no charge, even if you don't use them when you get the roof repaired. Also, check the Better Business Bureau, see what the reviews are for contractors that you deal with, and also remember, insurance companies allow up to an entire year from the date of loss to file a claim. So you've got time to get those repairs done and that replacement done. Don't rush it. Just a few tips from the people that know roofing and repairs better than anyone. It's Allen Roofing, online at aroofing.net.
It's Miller Furniture's Labor Day clearance event going on now through September 9th.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. Right now, you'll save up to 75% off our list price on all in-stock furniture and up to 50% off select custom orders at our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms.
Plus, shop our Stickley galleries in Fairview Heights and Belleville and take 40% off MSRP on all in-stock and custom order Stickley furniture. We have new and fresh looks on display like Flex Steel leather reclining sofas with power headrests and lumbar support, or our unique heirloom quality Amish-made furniture.
Are you ready to sleep better and save big? Right now, save up to $800 on select adjustable mattress sets from Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster. Or get half-price Chatham & Wells mattresses with the purchase of an adjustable base.
Don't miss our Labor Day clearance event going on now through September 9th. And check out Miller Furniture on Facebook for additional sales offers and new showroom arrivals.
At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
Truck drivers and owner-operators, there's never been a better time to team up at Schneider. We have more team-friendly loads than ever, including express delivery parcel freight that offers great miles with no delays to keep the wheels turning. Plus, for a limited time, company team drivers may be eligible for a sign-on bonus of up to $16,000. Owner-operator teams may qualify for a $10,000 incentive. Explore team driver positions at SchneiderJobs.com and search team contracting jobs at SchneiderOwneroperators.com.
When it comes to mortgage lenders, I know you have no shortage of options. But are you working with someone local who can truly simplify the process? I'm David Goldberg with the Goldberg Group, and as a St. Louis home purchase expert, I know this market inside and out. I specialize in tough-to-complete situations for borrowers who are self-employed, looking to buy and sell at the same time, and may have been turned down somewhere else. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or seasoned homeowner, you can trust me with all of your home financing needs. Call or text me at 314-471-4030. 314-471-4030.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. Tune in to the Press Box with Frank Cusimano every Monday night from 6 to 7 to get Frank's entries of the week. Sign up with promo code FRANK550.
Hi, it's Frank Cusimano inviting you to join me for the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. We're going to interview some of the biggest names in sports and have our opening monologue. That's the Press Box, brought to you by Control Option, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
$8:24 here at Big 550 KTRS. Antonio French every Tuesday and every Thursday. Good morning, Antonio.
Hey, good morning.
So the special session is down in Jefferson City, and they're redistricting, which is getting a lot of attention. But the other one that they're working their way through, changing the way the citizens get things approved on the Constitution, has sort of fallen under the radar. We talked about it a little bit yesterday with Ray Harmon. What do you think about changing the way citizens are able to get something approved by the Constitution?
My opinion here is that this entire special session really has a common theme, which is just disenfranchisement of Missouri citizens. It's really disgraceful. And so when you're talking about making it harder, and not just harder, trying to make it almost impossible for the people to be able to weigh in and make changes to government, this is really the opposite of democracy. These are people who supposedly ran for empowering and bettering the constituents' lives, and they are actually trying to take power away from their constituents. Now, we've seen the relationship between the Missouri legislature and this initiative process and, citizens trying to actually make changes before, because so many times using the process, using the constitutionally outlined process, citizens have used the petition system to make a change, and then the state legislature will come back and either completely gut that or ignore it. It's happened time and time again, and now they're going even further by actually basically destroying the petition process. And I think it's really disgraceful, to tell you the truth.
So what's interesting about this one is, so they want to change it now. First of all, it's not easy, and I have my own issues with the initiative petition to begin with, because a lot of times it's very hard for an actual citizen to actually put something on the ballot. These are big-time special interests, corporate interests. They've got a whole bunch of lawyers. You have to get all the signatures in all the different districts, then to get it on it, and then to pass 50% of it, 50% to then have it become part of the Constitution. And there's a lot of people who say, well, it's too easy to change the Constitution, and that's maybe an argument for another day. But they want to take and make so that if the citizens put it on, it has to be 50% passing in every single one of the 8 congressional districts. But if they put it on the constitutional ballot, right, if the legislature does it down in Jefferson City, they only need 50% of the entire state. It's kind of dirty pool that it's easier for them but harder for the citizens.
Oh, absolutely. It's really disgusting, man. In my opinion, it is. It is clearly taking away power from the citizens and moving it towards the state legislature. And we've seen how the state legislature. This is not a very functional body in of itself. So the idea that they say that they forever know better than the citizens is just outrageous. But, at the end of the day, though, even what they are attempting to pass has to be approved by the voters. And I don't think the voters are going to approve it. I think it's very transparent what is happening here. And I don't think the voters should approve it.
It'll be interesting. The voters only have to approve it by the voters. If they approve it, are making it harder for the voters to change something. Yes. Right. So they're actually literally saying, vote for this. If this passes, it's harder for you to vote for what you want in the future.
Exactly. Vote against your own self-interest. Vote to give away your power and invest it in a very unpopular body, which are Missouri state legislators. I don't think that's going to happen.
I can't believe that it's legal or constitutional to have two very separate ways to make something on the state constitution, right? In other words, I would think however we decide to change it, it should be the same, right, for those that put it on through the legislative ballot process or through the citizen process. The outcome should be the same, right? If you want to raise it to 66% or have everybody play by having 50% of all of the districts or whatever, have it the same. But to have it separate, that just seems to me, to dare take a phrase, it's separate, but it's not equal.
The arrogance of it is mind blowing to put there. Right there in the proposal that, we not only do we think we know better forever, but we shouldn't even have to, jump over the same hurdles as you guys do, who are supposedly our bosses. It's crazy. And I think it is so outrageous that if it does pass and gets put in front of the voters, that you're going to see a very diverse coalition of people all coming together to oppose it. I mean, this is something that people on the right, the far right, the left, the far left, the middle should all agree that nobody trust politicians that much. We should have a mechanism to be able to correct politicians, and that's what's been in our state constitution for over a century.
Yeah, really interesting stuff. All right, Antonio French, hang tight. Thanks for checking in. We'll check back in with you on Thursday. Have a good week. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You got it. By the way, they do have an editorial up at stltoday.com about this very exact thing. Might be kind of interesting for those who are so inclined. stltoday.com. Antonio French sits on that editorial board, is a reform politician himself, and, of course, joins us every Tuesday and every Thursday. Hey, let's talk St. Mary's High School. St. Mary's, the pride of St. Mary's, was on that football field Saturday helping Missouri beat Kansas. That's just one of the alumni who are out changing the world. When it comes to St. Mary's High School, their graduates have been changing the world for generations, and they will continue, because the last couple of years has been very interesting for St. Mary's High School. It's an all-boys Catholic, now independent high school in South Grand in South City. And a couple of years ago, the Archdiocese pulled their support, said we can't continue to fund St. Mary's. And they were left to close up shop. But the powers that be said St. Mary's is too important of an institution. And so St. Mary's got together, raised the funds, and were able to create an endowment. Just a couple of weeks ago, they announced that they're buying their land and the buildings from the Archdiocese. So now they have full autonomy. And their class sizes are growing. They've teamed up with businesses, with captains of industry, with unions. They're teaching skills for the young men for the 21st century, not just skills in the classroom, skills outside the classroom, right? And so if you're looking for an all-boys Catholic education where you will be taught the skills for the 21st century and the skills to change the world, St. Mary's High School. Great sports, great activities, great extracurricular activity, great in the classroom, and great in terms of building quality men to help lead St. Louis and the region as well as the world. stmaryshs.com. Find out more. stmaryshs.com. Captain Paul, St. Louis Classic Company Traffic Center. How are the roads?
Well, McGraw eastbound 64 is crowded but on the move at Route DD, and it's busy around 170. Westbound 64 slows down in front of Forest Park. Northbound 270 heavy from Gravois to Manchester. The drive time from 270 and Tesson Ferry to Manchester is 17 minutes. And northbound 55 is stop and go at Bayless and remains heavy at Weber. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, what do we got going on here? Weather-wise, going to be in the 80s today. No rain in the forecast. Overnight tonight, some clouds, low of 60. The warm-up begins tomorrow, high of 89. Thursday and Friday, low 90s. And then Saturday and Sunday, mid-90s. 54 right now down at the Arch at 8:33. Back to the newsroom. Here's Rose Dalton.
An explosion has been heard in Qatar's capital city, Doha. It was not immediately clear what exploded on Tuesday. Smoke could be seen in social media footage on the horizon. The Department of Homeland Security's announcement that immigration agents will flood Chicago in Operation Midway Blitz is stirring up fresh anxiety over threats of federal intervention in the nation's third largest city. President Donald Trump said Monday that he intends to send in National Guard members from other states as well. And the Supreme Court now says ICE agents can stop people based on indiscriminate factors like race, language, job, or location, boosting Trump's mass deportation agenda. In local headlines, the St. Charles County Council voted unanimously last night in favor of a tax freeze to be put on the April 2026 ballot. The measure would freeze tax liability of residents' primary home in St. Charles County. And more details are being released about the Powerball winner from Missouri. Lottery officials say a winning Powerball ticket from Saturday's nearly $1.8 billion drawing was sold at a Quick Trip on Lusher Road in North County.
That's what I'm talking about. Who doesn't love North County?
You just said yesterday, I hope it's not in St. Louis. And where is it, folks? St. Louis.
Oh, boy. I hope they're fans of me.
Right?
I actually, honestly, I hope and wish we never find out. I hope they hire the right financial people and, don't. How many terrible stories have you heard of this ruining people's life? And
the curse
lottery winners saying, I wish I never won the lottery.
Absolutely.
And a lot of us can't comprehend that. But if you listen to the people who've lived it, they often say, I wish I never won the lottery. I wish them You know, I wish them a steady head for the next couple
Take
of
the
weeks.
annuity.
Just
That
you know,
is a lot of money.
don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
So they shouldn't come on the show and announce it?
Don't tell anybody. Don't
hire us to do things.
Don't tell anybody. 8:35 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk about that retirement because I was reading one of these online stories about retirement, and you've got to build wealth in retirement. And yeah, sure, great. Well, you can't put it on red 18 when you're in retirement. The money is too important. It's too valuable. But how do you build wealth in retirement? And one of the things they said in this article was reduce your tax liability. If you reduce your tax liability, you have more money to keep in your accounts, thus having more money to build that wealth. Kevin Lloyd from Legacy Wealth Advisors talks all the time. He sees people all the time, every day it seems. People come into his office and talk with him, and he sees seniors and retired people who take money out of their accounts to pay their taxes, but because they took that money out, that then triggers taxes. So you're paying taxes with the money you're taking out, which causes more taxes. So you're paying taxes on the money you're taking out to pay taxes. It's a vicious cycle, and it happens all the time because people don't have a financial plan. You need a financial plan. And if you're not an expert, you need to go find one. And that's where Kevin Lloyd comes in with Legacy Wealth Advisors. His team, one of his advisors or he himself will sit down with you and start the conversation and come up with a true financial plan, because there's a very, very good chance your financial planner, even if you have one, isn't talking to your accountant, and your accountant isn't talking to your financial planner. Therefore, you're probably paying taxes on taxes to pay for your taxes. It's nuts, but it happens all the time in retirement. Call Kevin Lloyd. That's just one of about a billion things he can do for you. 314-641-1010. 314-641-1010, or the website whenretirementhappens.com.
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors, and better yet, they make them here in Missouri. Dalco Home Remodeling is locally and family owned, celebrating 50 years, so they know a thing or two. The Dalco team is known for quality and customer satisfaction. That's the way it was 50 years ago when they started, and that's still true today. So if you're looking to change the look of your home without breaking the bank, call Dalco Home Remodeling. They do free in-home estimates. Just call 314-298-7300 and make an appointment. You can also check them out online at dalcohomeremodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call Dalco first, 314-298-7300.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
Football is back, which means Dogtown is back. Dogtown Pizza, that is. And with 12 games on Mizzou's upcoming football schedule, you can have a different pizza every game. Kick off the season with a bacon, have a hot chicken on homecoming, and save that pepperoni peppercini, my favorite, for Arkansas. It's football season, and nothing goes better with the pigskin than a hot Dogtown Pizza. Let's cheer on those Missouri Tigers. M-I-Z... D-O-G, Dogtown Pizza, and dogtownpizza.com.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset. Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella Windows specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a Banner Day. When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Are you in your 50s and wondering if your 401k is still working for you? This is the decade when every contribution counts and mistakes can add up. From missing catch-up contributions to letting old accounts sit unattended, small errors could lead to big regrets later. Talk to Pioneer Wealth Management today. We help people like you make smarter retirement moves, especially when it matters most. Visit PioneerWealthMGMT.com and plan a retirement you can feel confident about.
Investment advisory services offered through Creative One Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Creative One Wealth and Pioneer Wealth Management are not affiliated companies. Licensed insurance professionals. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, that's what happens when you're up in the Yukon. Signal strength is sketchy. Apparently, Skagway, Alaska, is a little sketchy right now. We're supposed to check in with Holland America because they're up there training and having some type of Holland America cruise for all of the people who are going to come and tell us about the Onstage Alaska. Have you ever been to Alaska? It's really pretty extraordinary. It's an unbelievable trip. You really feel like you're on top of the world. And to see the glaciers and to see the way the people live and to see the beautiful pristine water and to go salmon fishing and to go take a helicopter ride up to the glaciers or boat rides or gondola rides or train rides. And to see how Alaska was tamed is pretty extraordinary, and it is a trip of a lifetime. And if you are interested, Holland America knows how to do it. I've been on a Holland America ship twice to go to Alaska, and it really is one of those bucket lists. If you are so inclined and want to find out more, because it's not like going to the Caribbean. It's you want to have a little bit of a working knowledge of Alaska. You want to sort of pick and choose before you get up there, because once the clock starts, you want to take advantage of all of it. Altair Travel and Cruises on September 23rd, which is coming up in a couple weeks, they're having their Onstage Alaska event presented by Holland America, where they will bring these guides who are on this trip right now to St. Louis, so you can ask them a whole bunch of questions. And these people live in Alaska, they know Alaska, they live Alaska, and so you'll be able to ask them all sorts of questions, whether it's wildlife, whether it's landscaping, whether it's mountains and ice and fishing and you name it. They have all the answers. So Onstage Alaska, they're going to need a head count. Go to Altair Travel and Cruises. Go to the show page and find out more. You can certainly call the office, 314-968-9600, or the website, altairtravelandcruises.com. But Onstage Alaska, September 23rd, these are always well attended and always well received. So if you're interested in that trip to Alaska, you got to do it right. Go check out On Stage Alaska in Brentwood at Altair Travel and Cruises, September 23rd. And to find out more, altairtravel.com. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. No accidents, but eastbound 64 is busy around 170. Westbound 64 slows down in front of Forest Park. Northbound 270 heavy from Big Bend to Manchester. The drive time from 270 and Tesson Ferry to Manchester is down to 12 minutes. And northbound 55 is running slow from Bayless to Weber. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
That
From
was
the Woods Basement Systems Weather Desk. Local experts for basement waterproofing, foundation repair, crawl space repair, and more. WoodsBasementSystems.com.
Our stretch of fall-like weather has come to an end. We have more cloud cover present this morning. That will lead to mostly sunny skies by the afternoon, and temperatures today warmer with a high of 82 degrees. Overnight tonight, we fall back into the 60s, and we continue with the warm-up beginning tomorrow and through the weekend. We have many 90s in the forecast ahead. It stays dry. With your first solar forecast, I'm meteorologist Leah Hill for the Big 550 KTRS.
from the Country Club Car Wash text line. And to those who say, I wish I won the lottery, just give your millions to me. Your problem is solved. Don from Afton. Here's another one from the 636. Gelmish & Sons installed my HVAC system on 8/26. I chose them due to your advertising. The agent, the installer, and the office staff were also helpful throughout and very polite. Great company. I'm so glad I chose them. Thank you, Alice. You betcha. Let's see here. Jamal Roberts and Kevin Coleman of Mizzou are products of St. Mary's. Yes, they are. Thank you very much. I haven't heard Guy Phillips since the lottery announcement. I haven't heard Guy Phillips either since the lottery announcement.
He was at the golf tournament yesterday.
Allegedly. I didn't see him, but he was there. Hey, stay right there. We're going to check in with Greg Blanke, super fan for Mizzou, also the owner of Boardwalk Hardwood Floors. We're going to talk a little hardwood with Greg. Stay right there. Hey, would you like to protect your assets? You work hard to accumulate them. Now you want to protect them generationally. So you want to protect mom's and dad's money. You want to protect your money, and you want to protect the next generation. That's called the sandwich generation. I've lived it. I was living it till my mother died, and I was the one in charge, and I had nowhere to go. And then Rudy Beck fell from the sky, BeckElderLaw.com, and they were able to put us on the right path, able to get whatever the paperwork we needed signed, and we were able to handle all of it because Rudy Beck was there. So for 50 years, Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, and Carolyn Stolzer from Beck Elder Law have been there helping the last generation, the next generation, and this current generation protect our assets, whether it's avoiding probate, trusts, all those types of things. I don't know what I don't even know. So all I know is I called Rudy Beck, and he handled it all. So here's what you do. Instead of saying, oh, yeah, I got to do that, instead of putting your head in the sand or pretending bad things will never, ever happen to you, what you should do is you should call Rudy Beck, call Jay, call Carolyn, and get on the calendar. Once you're on the calendar, then they do all the heavy lifting. You answer the questions. They follow your lead. They follow your directive. They get and chase you down for all the paperwork, and then you're done. 636-946-7899. Stop procrastinating and get it done. Beck, Lennox, Stolzer, Estate Planning and Elder Law, or BeckElderLaw.com.
You know what they say, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and windows and doors are usually that first impression when it comes to your home. Dalco Home Remodeling custom makes their windows and doors, and better yet, they make them here in Missouri. Dalco Home Remodeling is locally and family owned, celebrating 50 years, so they know a thing or two. The Dalco team is known for quality and customer satisfaction. That's the way it was 50 years ago when they started, and that's still true today. So if you're looking to change the look of your home without breaking the bank, call Dalco Home Remodeling. They do free in-home estimates. Just call 310 314-298-7300 and make an appointment. You can also check them out online at dalcohomeremodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. So call Dalco first, 314-298-7300.
Got gold? Get green at Jewels on Hampton. Jewels on Hampton pays the most for your precious metals, jewelry, gems, currency, antiques, and collectibles. Jewels on Hampton buys precious and semi-precious gems and stones, scrap gold, and sterling silver. Jewels on Hampton buys and sells paper money, wristwatches, and pocket watches. They even take pianos and cars. To sum up, bring your gold chains, bracelets, rings, coins, dental gold, and more to Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis. And get green online at jewelsonhampton.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like the Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor, the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S., Z-Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available, or save up to $3,000. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Oakville Equipment for a test drive to see their full line of Kubota tractors. You can also visit them at oakvilleequipment.com.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
8:53 here, Big 550 KTRS. Our next guest is probably the biggest Mizzou fan I've ever met. Of course, he's Greg Blanke, who has been running Boardwalk Hardwood Floors for 20-plus years. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning. How are you?
When the score was 21-6, were you throwing things at the television, or what were you doing?
I was in the stands, and I got to tell you, I was a little nervous. It's like, uh-oh, this is not the way they wrote it up, so something's got to change quick.
I tell you what, though, they took the blow and, kept their composure, and, that's a nice win for them all the way around.
Absolutely. And we kept looking at the stat line going, how in the world are they losing this game? They were just crushing them in stats, and then the tide turned, so that was a good thing. Yeah. And did you see how many people they had around the field at the end of the game to stop the fans from rushing the field?
Yes, they did. I did see that. I missed those Mizzou. That was my first experience at a Mizzou KU game, and Little Emerson had fun. It was a good time I was had by all. So glad you were there, and glad they came back. They're 2-0, ranked 25th in the country. Now let's talk Boardwalk Hardwood Floors and this year-end sale. People don't realize how good of a sale this is. You do it over every year. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. So it's our warehouse sale. This is our 25th year in doing it. And we go to all of our vendors. We ask them for any closeouts or discontinued off-color items, things that they just want to move, and they give us really good pricing on it. So we have super specials on products like that. And then everything else that we have that may be a special order item is also discounted anywhere from 15 to 25% off. So there are some really good deals. And as you know, because you've purchased from the warehouse sale in the past, if you don't need it for 6 or 8 months, we'll hold it for you and keep it in our warehouse until you're ready for it. So it's not something that customers have to take the day they purchase it. They can plan ahead and order it, and we'll sit on it for a while until they need it.
I don't think people realize how unbelievable these sales prices are. That cherry wood you sold me that you held on for me for 6 or 8 months, I never would have been able to afford it if it was normal price, but because it was so deeply discounted, it was a steal.
That was the deal of the decade. You got it.
But I mean, that happens all the time, though, right? I mean, you have unbelievable deals on great hardwood floors.
It does. I just got an email from one of our vendors last night that said we've got some 2 1/4 inch product that we're going to discount for you. So it's pre-finished. So I'm still waiting on the pricing on that. That'll go up on our website later today. So people can come check our website out. It's boardwalkhardwood.com and see all of our specials. We have the majority of the specials on our website, but sometimes we have some stuff in the stores also that may not be on the website. So it's a benefit to go into the stores also and look and see the products that we have.
Yeah, the selection, I don't think, again, people realize the price, but people don't realize the selection. All the different species, all the different colors, all the styles, you've got it. Virtually anything you want in terms of hardwood, you've got it.
We do, and sometimes it can be overwhelming walking into our showroom because there are literally tens of thousands of different selections. But our staff does a really good job of asking kind of qualifying questions about your lifestyle, your household, if you have pets and kids, and we can narrow that funnel down to about 10 or 15 different products. Our staff does a really good job in helping with that whole selection process.
And it's not just 3/4 inch, right? I mean, you've got vinyl, you've got veneers, laminates, right? You have all those as well.
Yeah, it's all hard surface flooring. So vinyl, laminate, we have cork floors, we have leather floors, we have solid hardwood floors, we have engineered hardwood floors, pre-finished, unfinished. So anybody can think of from a hardwood floor perspective, even if we don't have the color that someone's looking for, we have suppliers that will color match. So if somebody brings a piece of wood in and says, I want my floor to be this color, we can do that. That is not a problem. That's something we do almost every day.
So great selection, great price. The sale runs what, all month long?
Sale runs till the end of the month. So yeah, through September 30th. So all the showrooms are open. Samples, people can come in, take samples home. Like I said, if they're not ready for the product, they need it in 3, 6, 9 months, we can hold it for them. So yeah, come on in and get a great deal on some hardwood flooring. So
call, come in, or website. Which is easiest? Which do you prefer?
Well, the majority of people start on a website to kind of look and get ideas of different colors and things like that. And then they can come into the store with inspiration photos or colors that they're looking for. So there's a lot of research that's done on the internet these days. So that's a good place to start just to get an idea of what's out there. And then come on in and we can kind of make it easier from there.
It's the annual warehouse sale, boardwalkhardwoodfloors.com, boardwalkhardwood.com, boardwalkhardwood.com. 4 area locations, strategically placed. Greg, you've been doing this a long time. You guys know how to do it, and you do it right. We'll see you soon, Greg, and M-I-Z?
Z-O-U.
Boardwalk Hardwood or boardwalkhardwood.com. Greg, talk to you soon. Thanks, man.
Have a good one.
You got 8:58. I want you to know how painful that was as a Husker fan saying M-I-Z. I just want you to know what I do for the sponsors and hardwood floors. Boardwalk Hardwood, boardwalkhardwood.com. Captain Paul Kopsky, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center.
McGraw, no accidents, but eastbound 64 is busy around 170. Northbound 270 heavy from Doherty Ferry to 64. And there's road work with a lane closure on westbound 5570 between Illinois 111 and 203. From the KTRS, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, let me quickly tell you about Stewart at Stewart's American Mortgage. Interest rates are going down, and the refinance boom has begun. Who are you calling? Are you calling somebody else who's going to charge you $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 to refinance your house? Call Stewart. The bagel loan, anything over $200,000, 0 fees. Lock in the lower rate today. Don't pay any fees. And then when it goes lower 6, 8 months from now, lock in again and pay no fees with Stewart. It's the bagel loan, 314-324-4440 or stewartsamc.com. 9 o'clock, KTRS St. Louis.
From ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. Explosions in the Qatari capital of Doha. An Israeli official telling the AP had targeted Hamas leadership in a strike. The move likely to lengthen the war even further, says ABC's Ian Pannell in Jerusalem.
The Israeli Defense Forces releasing a statement saying that they have targeted the senior leadership of Hamas, which of course they prescribe as a terrorist organization, along with the United States, Europe, and many others as well. If indeed it is the case that they've targeted and killed senior members of Hamas, the Hamas leadership who are involved in negotiations, it effectively cancels any talk of a ceasefire, any talk of hostage release, any talk of ending the war.
Qatar issuing a statement saying the strike is a flagrant violation of all international laws and norms and is a serious threat to people and security of Qataris. President Trump and the White House denying that he was the author of an entry featuring a crude drawing of a woman and a poem in Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday album. ABC's Jay O'Brien's on Capitol Hill.
The so-called birthday book included letters compiled by Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, currently serving a 20-year federal prison sentence for sex trafficking. In a recent interview, she told Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, the president's former lawyer, that she could not remember if Trump contributed a message to the book. Maxwell recently receiving a highly unusual transfer to a minimum security prison just days after her interview with the DOJ.
The Supreme Court allowing immigration raids in Los Angeles to continue while the courts decide whether stopping people based on race, accent, and what they do for a living is legal. The latest Nation's report card shows 12th graders getting their lowest scores in math and reading since the assessment began in 1992. Nepal's prime minister has resigned days after implementing a social media ban throughout the country. There were widespread protests over it this week. You're listening to ABC News.
The Cardinals jersey hoodie is here, presented by Bear. On Saturday, September 20th, when the Birds take on the Brewers, the first 20,000 fans 16 and older get this one-of-a-kind hoodie. It's perfect for game day, chill nights, or just showing your Cardinals pride anywhere you go. Don't miss out. It's a hoodie you have to have. That's Saturday, September 20th. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Nolan Arenado, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Get cozy this fall with the Cardinals flannel presented by Equifax. Join us at the ballpark on Sunday, September 21st for the last home game of the regular season when the Cardinals host the Brewers. 20,000 fans, 16 and older, coming through the gates at Busch Stadium will snag this comfy flannel, perfect for showing your Cardinals pride. It's your chance to wear the season and the team like a true fan. Don't miss out. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Alec Burleson, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Apple has some announcements coming today. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis with a preview.
We expect to see a bunch of new product news, including a new iPhone, iPhone 17. It is expected to be the thinnest and lightest iPhone ever, with a larger front-facing camera and longer battery life. And while this is not confirmed, we think that they will also introduce the AirPods 3 Pro. This is interesting. They expect that they will be able to translate in real time.
Now, this is one of the most popular online games in the world, with 112 million daily users, but Roblox is still the target of criticism from those who say it poses a threat to kids. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
Roblox Corporation is expanding its use of facial age estimation technology for people signing up to play the wildly popular game.
The problem is that they're not always right. That technology has failed many times.
Criminologist Dr. Alex Del Carmen.
And kids have a way to get around that,
including using selfies of other people they've found online. Roblox also plans on rolling out systems meant to restrict communication between adults and minors unless they know each other in real life. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
A Texas firefighter has ended a century-long family streak. At a gender reveal party over the weekend, Michael Sherman and his wife found out they are having a girl, the first girl baby in the family in 108 years. The last time one was born was back in 1917. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document document you could ever have.
The premier income and estate planning show. This Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Mizzou football.
The rushing touchdown, and Missouri extends the lead.
KTRS AM, FM 106.1, K291CW St. Louis.
.62 degrees at 9:05. The Missouri House of Representatives is one step closer to advancing a new state congressional map. House members gave initial approval yesterday to a map that splits Kansas City among 3 congressional districts. Meanwhile, the Missouri House gave preliminary approval yesterday to a plan asking voters to make it harder for citizens to change the state constitution through ballot questions. Yesterday's initial votes during the special session are preliminary, with plans to take final official votes today before the proposals move to the Senate for deliberation. The Jefferson County Council has approved a ban on swimming at Rockford Park. The council voted 6-1 in favor of the ban last night. This is in response to drownings in the area in recent years. Officials say there have been 7 drownings, 3 near drownings, and 29 water rescues at the park since 2014. The ordinance must be voted on 2 more times and signed by the county executive to become law. The St. Louis Zoo Wild Care Park is welcoming their first camel herd. The story from KTRS's Sobe Bay.
The camels are between 1 and 2 years old and are settling into Wild Care Park, a safari park and conservation breeding center currently under development in North St. Louis County. The camels are Bactrian camels, the kind with 2 humps, and the only species to still roam the wild. They are known for their ability to withstand extreme temperatures, ranging from -20 to 120 degrees in their native habitat, the Gobi Desert of Mongolia. Visitors will have the opportunity to meet these camels on guided safaris when Wild Care Park officially opens in 2027. But if you can't wait, you can see Bactrian camels at the St. Louis Zoo and Forest Park, where they have been cared for over many years. Sobe Bay, KTRS News.
St. Louis County Executive Sam Page is asking for funding for 15 new jobs, stating that 2 critical public programs need more support to meet resident interest. Page's administration is asking for $2.6 million over the next 2 years as part of the effort. Page sent a letter to the county council asking for a supplemental appropriation of nearly $634,000 to fund 15 jobs related to RECA support for 2025. The county, looking to help residents apply for RECA, wants to keep funding those jobs through fiscal year 2027. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, a place for all your floral needs. You can place your order anytime at WKF.com. And now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune into Straight Talk on Retirement on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow is down 16 points to 45,500. The S&P is up 3 points to 6,500. And the NASDAQ is up 14 points to 21,900. In KTRS Sports, Alec Burleson homered in his return from the injured list, but was not enough as the Cards fall to the Mariners 4-2. The Cards and the Mariners meet again tonight in Seattle. Mizzou basketball secured its second 5-star recruit in the class of 2026 with Tony Bryant out of Florida. Bryant is a consensus top 20 prospect who figures to team up with top 10 prospect Jason Crow Jr. starting in a little more than a year. In KTRS Time Saver Traffic. Let's go to the KTRS St. Louis Plaza Company Traffic Center for a look at the roads, where we find Captain Paul Kopsky standing by.
Rose, we are accident-free, but eastbound 64 is busy around 170. Northbound 270 heavy from Manchester to 64. And there's road work with a lane closure on westbound 5570 between Illinois 111 and 203. This traffic report is brought to you by Stages St. Louis. Close out the season with Beautiful, the Carole King story. Tickets on sale now. Get yours while they last. More information available at stagesstlouis.org. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you, Captain Paul. In KTRS weather, a mix of sun and clouds today with a high of 79. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 59. And tomorrow, sunny and warmer with a high of 85. Currently 62 degrees at 9:09. I'm Rose Dalton, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
It's the Big Sports Show with Sports Director Brendan Lisi. Weeknights 7 to 9 on the talk of St. Louis, the Big 550, KTRS.
The big, beautiful tax bill just passed. Do you know how these changes will affect your financial plan? What changes has your financial advisor made to take advantage of these opportunities before they expire? Join me, Kevin Lloyd, for my next tax workshop, 314-641-1010. Learn how these changes can benefit you and your family. 314-641-1010.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPLA, registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Heidi here for Premier U. Everybody is talking about the miracle weight loss drugs, semaglutide and tirzepatide. Studies show an incredible average weight loss of 20% body weight. Premier U offers the generic equivalents to the breakthrough GLP-1 weight loss drugs at a fraction of the price of competitors, as low as $3.99 a month, and they're available right now. Call Premier U at 618-7-WAIT. Mention Heidi and receive $100 off your first month. Telehealth consults available, located in Swansea and South County, or premierumed.com.
There are some common side effects for both semaglutide and tirzepatide, including nausea, vomiting, constipation, bloating, diarrhea, and lack of appetite. Learn more at premierumed.com.
This is the McGraw Show on KTRS.
All right, live radio. Things tend to change on a dime. We have found Ryan Baird with Holland America. Ryan Baird, somewhere in Alaska. Where are you, Ryan?
Hi, we are pulling into Skagway on the Lynn Canal.
All right, and you're with Holland America, and Holland America is known for their Alaskan trips, and you're here to talk about what's going on with Altair Travel. But first, you're taking a lot of these tour guides on their trip to Alaska. Tell us about what you're doing up there with these tour guides.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I'm on the Konings Dam, and I'm here with travel advisors, and my colleague Bill Fletcher is in charge of the on-stage Alaska team, and they happen to be on Konings Dam with us right now, and he oversees the same team that will be in St. Louis with Altair Travel. And Bill Fletcher is sitting right next to me, and he's an Alaska guru, has a home right here next to Skagway.
All right, we'll talk to Bill in a second, but I want to talk to you. Talk about Holland America and talk about these Alaskan cruises, because I know Holland America, you guys go to the ends of the earth to make sure it's a wonderful experience and it's a once-in-a-lifetime, whether it's tour excursions, helicopter rides and train rides and fishing guides. And talk about the length and the detail you guys go to make sure this is a wonderful trip.
Yeah, I've always said that Holland America line has disrupted the industry because everything that we do, every other line is forced to follow. We've been in business for over 150 years. We've been sailing in Alaska for over 75 years now. And some of the shore excursions we have one called Savor My Catch. So if you go out on one of these tours and you actually catch a fish on this tour, you can bring it back on the ship, and the chef will cook that fish for you and your party. So it doesn't get any fresher than that. And Holland America line, we take more people into the interior than any other line, including the Yukon Territory. So if you want a well-rounded experience in Alaska, literally no other line can show you Alaska like we can show you Alaska.
That's a pretty neat deal. Okay, put Bill on the phone. I want to talk to Bill.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Bill.
Good afternoon, I guess.
Yeah, good morning to us. Good afternoon to you guys. So, Bill, you live in Skagway?
No, I lived and worked in Alaska for many years for the company, and I discovered a little town near Skagway that I absolutely fell in love with, and I built a little cabin on the water that I get up to whenever I can, and we literally just sailed by it about 30 minutes ago. We're right now pulling into Skagway alongside the dock for a day of adventure in one of my favorite towns.
One of the interesting things about Alaska is it's unique in that people just don't find themselves in Alaska, right? I mean, tell me about the culture. Tell me about the people. What are they doing up there? How are they still surviving and thriving up in places like Skagway?
Oh, a small town Alaska attracts an eclectic bunch of folks, that's for sure. They're some of the highest quality people in my life, actually. They're really interesting people. They've come here for a purpose. Like you say, you don't just end up here. You come here, they say you're either running from something or you're running to something when you come to Alaska, especially the small towns. And it makes for a really close-knit, very interesting community. And, of course, the key to a long life in Alaska is to get out in the wintertime, in my opinion, at least for a period of time. It does get very dark in the winter. But the counter side to that is that in the summers, the sun really never sets. We get very short darkness up here in the summer months. So for visitors, you literally get more of what you've come to see because the lights are on almost around the clock.
Yeah, the sun just makes a big giant circle around the sky.
Yeah.
What do you mean by get out in the wintertime? Do you mean leave in the wintertime or just get out and do things in the wintertime?
No, well, both, actually. Winter sports and sports actually throughout the year are a big part of Alaskans' life up here, whether it's snow machining or skiing or snowshoeing or in the summertime river rafting or rock climbing or whatever you might be into. Alaska is really an adventure playground. But also I meant in the wintertime, getting out of Alaska to visit friends and family that you might feel really removed from up here in the wilds of Alaska in the depths of winter. A lot of people use the opportunity of the slower winter season to go out and go to Hawaii or go visit family and then come back and be recharged for another summer season where you tend to be up a lot past your bedtime as you take advantage of those long daylight hours and the opportunity to make your living.
Bill, do people in Alaska, are they nice to new people who come up and decide to sell it all and go find themselves up in Alaska?
Oh, absolutely. To visitors alike and to those that decide to join them, Alaskans are notoriously welcoming. They're so proud and excited to share what they've discovered up here. It really is such a special place and a special lifestyle that they can't wait to share it with visitors. In fact, most of the shore excursions that we offer in the ports that we visit are operated by Alaskans that are showing off what they love to do up here, whether it's deep sea salmon fishing or river rafting or, the native culture and heritage. It's really unlike a lot of cruise destinations. The stories that are told on the excursions that you take are told by the locals. They're not starting businesses for the profit necessarily, but rather for the opportunity to share what they've discovered and are so passionate about.
One of the things that I took from my two different trips up to Alaska was the scenery was, phenomenal. It was insane. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. The water was pristine and beautiful. But, just the amount of eagles I saw was, I think I saw thousands of eagles. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's my best piece of advice for anybody who cruises to Alaska. The ships are so engaging with their culinary programs, the entertainment, and the service, and everything else. But if you get out on deck, you're going to see what you came to see, whether it's the eagles overhead or the bear walking on the beach or the whales. I can't even tell you how many whales we've seen in the last few days. It's been crazy. Every time you turn around, it seems there are humpback whales outside the windows. And if you get out on deck, of course, you really maximize the opportunity to experience that and to, that's high on the list of what people hope to see when they come to Alaska, and it's available right from the deck of the ship. You don't have to wait until you get to port for the wildlife. It's all around you all the time, as are the glaciers, the glaciers and the wilderness that everybody's hoping to see.
Now, Bill, you're going to be in St. Louis for this Onstage Alaska?
I'm not personally, but I, as Ryan said, oversee the Onstage Alaska program. And every year we take people that have worked for us all season long as tour directors. Those are the people that guide our guests throughout the land portion of our cruise tours to Denali and beyond. And those are our representatives, our ambassadors that we send around the country to talk to audiences such as the one we're hosting with you on September 23rd. And these are experts on not only our cruise program, but also, as I say, the cruise tour program. So we have them on board this week. No better place to do the training before we send them off into the wilds of North America than on board one of our beautiful ships to get them prepared and really ready to share everything that we have to offer.
Who should go and sign up for Onstage Alaska? What do I learn? What's the benefit of, I know I want to go to Alaska, but why do I need to go to Onstage Alaska next week?
Absolutely. Well, most people who are thinking of coming to Alaska, of course, are thinking of a cruise, which is a great vacation. That's, you only have 7 days to explore Alaska. A cruise is hands down the best opportunity. But there is so much more to Alaska. A cruise is literally just scratching the surface. So the Onstage teams, we deliberately choose these experts that know our cruise tour program so well so that they can talk about the many benefits of considering combining a cruise with a land tour to Denali and even to the Yukon and other off-the-beaten-path destinations. If you're coming this far to explore Alaska, you really deserve to consider a cruise plus a land tour. And that's really what they're there to do. They can certainly answer all your questions about the Alaska cruise experience, uniquely, of course, from a Holland America perspective, but also share the many advantages of combining that cruise with a chance to go to Denali and beyond.
Bill, how did you get involved with Holland America?
Well, I actually came up here during my college days as a tour bus driver a few years ago, like in 1983, I think was my first summer with the company. And it's fun to, of course, come up here every season and rediscover it for myself and see what's changed and what hasn't. Of course, a lot of things have changed, but the history and the character of this place really never changes. It's as magical as the day I discovered it.
So you went up there to be a tour bus driver and never left?
More or less, and that's a common story. If your guests come to Alaska and they ask their tour bus driver or their bartender how they found their way to Alaska, the story is universal almost, that I came up here for a summer job and never left. That is, people fall in love with this place. We say that once you come to Alaska, you never go all the way home.
Interesting.
In some cases, that's very literal.
There's somebody on the text line brought this up, but Alaska's got a great summer college baseball league where kids go up there and play summer ball. And I had a couple of college roommates and teammates go up there and play, and they came back and just were raving about the summer they spent in Alaska playing baseball.
Oh, yeah, and you can play literally all day long. There's softball tournaments that start at midnight in June up here, because especially around Fairbanks and the northern latitudes of Alaska, the sun, as you said earlier, literally just goes in a circle around in the sky. And there's famously softball tournaments, golf tournaments that start at midnight in the longest daylight months of the year.
Bill Fletcher from Holland America, who's up in Skagway, Alaska, on the Holland America ship. He's in charge of all of the tour guides and those that are going to be here in St. Louis on September 23rd at Altair Travel and Cruises. And if you ever thought about going to Alaska, no better chance than to go see Onstage Alaska September 23rd at Altair Travel and Cruises. Bill, thanks for taking a couple minutes from your busy schedule. Have a safe travel, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Oh, thank you so much. We'll see you in Alaska.
You got it. There you go. Onstage Alaska with Altair Travel and Cruises. Every year they do it. Every year it's standing room only. And there we gave you a short little glimpse of what Alaska could be like. Bill Fletcher from Skagway, Alaska. Onstage Alaska, September 23rd at Altair Travel and Cruises. Now, didn't that put a charge into your morning? Hey-o. Hence the Michael Baldy from Baldy Electric. St. Louis Electrical Services, Michael Baldy's been doing this since 1996, but really that's when he started his company. He first fell in love with being an electrician, believe it or not, when he was a little 10-year-old boy walking down the street, and he walked past an electrical truck and just was enamored with being an electrician ever since. Kind of a great story. All these years later, he is one of the best, and he built Baldy Electric into one of those great consumer electrical companies. whether it's a dimmer, whether it's something more advanced, whether it's computer technology wires that you need to pull throughout the house, whatever it may be, residential or commercial, he's the best. And he has amassed a team. They can't be any more professional. They can't be any more serious. They can't be any more friendly. And what he'll do is he'll send them out, or he himself will go out and do whatever it is needs to be done. Whether you want to turn that garage into a workable space, whether you want to turn that attic into an office, you're going to need some extra lights for that new animatronic skeleton for your Halloween costumes. You're going to need Michael Baldy to come out and wire it for you. 314-968-9999. 314-968-9999. Everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. Michael Baldy or BaldyElectric.com. Captain Paul, St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, good morning.
Good morning, McGraw. An accident on westbound 70 before Bermuda is blocking the two right lanes and causing a stop and go back up to Lucas and Hunt. The estimated clearance time is 10:10. There's inspection work on the McKinley Bridge at the Missouri-Illinois state line with traffic reduced to one lane. And there's road work on with one lane closure on westbound 5570 between Illinois 111 and 203. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. If the severe storms have you saying, oh, hail, bring your car, truck, SUV, or van to Dents Express for a free hail damage repair evaluation. Dents Express will have your ride looking like new again, and they'll even take care of the insurance paperwork. That's Dents Express at dentsexpressstl.com. From the KTRS St. Louis Closet Company Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Everybody needs a good roof over their head. That's where John Beal comes in. Man, we have been just decimated with these storms in the spring and into the summer. And you go outside, you're still hearing the pow, pow, pow of the pneumatic nailer, right, with the roofs. Guess what? John Beal is here to help. Do not go with an out-of-towner. I knew it was bad because as the storm clouds were still in the air, you had out-of-towners knocking on my door. They must follow the storms. That's what they do, storm chasers. And they got some, I hate to say it, but they got some. And I said, not so fast. I'm calling my local guy. John Beal came out, and we got a new roof, courtesy of John Beal. They helped me with my insurance. I knew I was taken care of. And that the peace of mind was worth everything combined, right? Because I knew John Beal was going to take care of me. Not because I've been their spokesman for the last 18 years, but because they're a St. Louis company, and they understand that they take care of St. Louisans. That's what they do. They hire St. Louisans. They take care of St. Louisans. And John Beal was helped me every single step of the way, including dealing with the insurance company, which I knew nothing about, right? They have their own code words, their own language, and they were able to get me the money to fix the roof and do it right. It's as simple as that. So for all of your roofing, John Beal Roofing, keep it local, keep it John Beal. 1-800-NEW-ROOF, 1-800-NEW-ROOF, or johnbealroofing.com.
Sometimes it seems all lawmakers do is tax and spend. That's why Missouri voters passed the Hancock Amendment in 1980 to place a limit on what the government can do with your money. But the Hancock Amendment is outdated. It hasn't provided a taxpayer refund since 1999 and probably won't without reform. That's why Missouri needs a taxpayer Bill of Rights. Colorado has one, and taxpayers there have received more than $8 billion in refunds. It's simple. There should be limits on government spending and refunds when there's a surplus in the state budget. A taxpayer Bill of Rights constitutional amendment would help limit the growth of government. Missouri's budget has nearly doubled in the past 5 years, yet the state lags far behind states like Colorado in economic growth. The Hancock Amendment was supposed to protect taxpayers. Now it's time for an update and a taxpayer Bill of Rights. After all, it's your money. Learn more at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Elevate your home with stunning lighting from Metro Lighting.
Shopping for a gorgeous chandelier for your dining room?
Need a new table lamp?
Or lighting your entire dream home?
Our certified lighting specialists are here to help.
Locally owned with 6 convenient locations.
An amazing selection of lighting for any style and budget.
And all at the guaranteed best price.
And did you know?
Metro Lighting is a great source for furniture, art, and home decor too.
Metro Lighting.
Full of bright ideas for your home. If you've been waiting to update your home, don't wait any longer because Macy's Labor Day sale has our lowest prices of the season on everything. From our exclusive Radley sectional in so many fabric and leather options to our beautifully crafted Headworth Queen bed. Plus, top mattress brands like Sealy and Beauty Rest for that new bed, all at 20 to 60% off, over half off. But don't wait any longer. Our lowest prices of the season won't last forever. Hurry into Macy's today. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
The big beautiful tax bill just passed. Do you know how these changes will affect your financial plan? What changes has your financial advisor made to take advantage of these opportunities before they expire? Join me, Kevin Lloyd, for my next tax workshop, 314-641-1010. Learn how these changes can benefit you and your family. 314-641-1010.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPLA, registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you. BishopsPost.com.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
$9:31 here at Big 550 KTRS from the Country Club Car Wash text line. Hey, McGraw, as a follow-up to your conversation yesterday about the college girls wearing handkerchief halter tops at Mizzou, I was talking to my 87-year-old mom last night who lives in St. Louis. She said that's nothing new at all. She said back in the 50s, many girls, including herself, would do the same thing. They said they would take two handkerchiefs and sew them together so it was large enough to be used as a stylish halter top. My mom said it was very common practice to wear these halter tops with jeans. I don't know about that.
But they're sewing two together that way, though.
Okay.
So now it's like a form of clothing.
So it's half of what it used to be.
No, double.
Right.
Yes.
It was double in the 50s, and now it's half.
Oh, inflation.
Yeah. True to form, you don't know what time it is in Skagway. Not afternoon. When you originally wanted to talk to them, it was 8:30 here. It was 5:30 there. Pretty sure they were still sleeping. Pretty sure they weren't still sleeping. We had a hard time hooking up with finding a signal. They were still out at sea. Let's see here. Hi there. Trying to get in touch with anyone for March to the Arch. I am planning on walking this Thursday and have already registered, but haven't emailed someone from the website and no response. I originally heard about it on the walk on your show, McGraw, last year. Please send me the contact number. It'd be greatly appreciated. I don't know anything about that. March to the Arch last year. I don't know. Hey, McGraw, how big of an animatronic skeleton will you be putting in your front yard? None. But I did see one at Home Depot the other day that was... I looked at the price. We were talking about it earlier in the show. I looked at the price because you can apparently, it's now LED as well as AI, so it can record your voice, so you can have the skeleton say anything you want in your own voice. It was actually kind of cool. It was like 7 feet tall.
12 feet tall.
It was this one was
okay.
This one was a little bit taller than me, so I'm 6'4", 6'3". That thing was 7 foot, maybe. They have one that's 12, and then they had like some like bear or something, some werewolf that was like 12 feet tall.
They also want you to like get Skelly's dog and Skelly's friend.
It's crazy. It is crazy what's going on out there. All right. I want to talk about, for a couple minutes, about jobs. And not necessarily job numbers, because that's you can't even have a conversation with anyone. People are so sideways and so political and so up in their own agenda to see straight. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about actually trying to find a job in 2025. Because I was reading an article yesterday in The Atlantic, and they said that human relations executives, right, people who work in the bigger companies with human relations, right, HR, they have artificial intelligence write the job description. They then put it out on Indeed or LinkedIn or Monsters.com or whatever job site. They then get back thousands of resumes, and then they run them through the computer, through artificial intelligence, to pick out certain buzzwords and then spit out however many to then, I guess, look through. Well, the employee who sees the job application or the job posting on the website then has artificial intelligence write the resume to the artificial intelligent driven job description. So you have an you have a fake job description written by a computer. Somebody reads that and then has a fake resume generated by a computer sent in, and then a computer reads it and then spits it out. And these people are saying, I applied for 3,000 jobs. I applied for 2,000 jobs. I applied for 700 jobs. And how does anybody find a job in 2025? They keep saying, graduating from college, you're having a hard time finding a job. How do you even knock on anybody's door? You can't. I made this joke earlier. One of the reasons why I'm in radio, I really didn't know how to find any other job. I would apply to all sorts of businesses, and I would take out my resume, and I would walk into the office, and I would hand them a resume, and I'd be like, hey, how you guys doing? College graduate, McGraw Millhaven, dang glad to meet you, right? Had my suit and tie on, the whole deal. I walked. This seems like a nice company. I don't know. What do you got going on in here, right? I mean, I don't know. No one ever teaches you how to get a job. So I never really actually got a job. And then I walked into a radio station one day and, well, actually I called the radio station and asked for you want to hear the real true story about how I got into radio? Here's the real true story about how I got into radio. A friend of mine was married, and this woman who he was married to handed me a book. It was like, how to get your first job out of college. And it was a library book. I know that because it had like the Dewey Decimal System on the binder of the book. So I bring it home, and I was like, whatever. And I randomly open it up to a page. And I read this one paragraph, and it says, here's what you do. You find, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is basically what it said. Call up a company that you want to work for and get to the most experienced and highest ranking official you can get to and say, hi, my name is, and I love your company, and I will make your company money. And then shut up and don't say anything. And that person will eventually say, oh, my goodness, I've never gotten a call like this before. I'd like to meet you. So I was living across the street from KFAB in Omaha. And my college roommate a week later drops me off, and he's like, all you've done is listen to talk radio your whole life. I'm about 26, 27 years old. He says, there are radio stations right there. Go get a job, you dummy. So I walked in, and I was like, oh, all right. So I called up, and I said, hi, I'd like to talk to the general manager, please. And they said, hold on. General manager said, hello, Chuck Jewell. I said, hi, Mr. Jewell. My name's McGraw Millhaven, and I love your radio station, and I'd like to make you some money. Would you like to meet? And I shut up. And the longest pause, the guy says, I like your style. Why don't you come over and say hi?
Reading works.
So I went over, I said hi, and he said, he said, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. I don't really know what I want to do. Because I never thought I'd be in a radio station to begin with. He was like, do you want to be in sales? I was like, no. He goes, do you want to read the news on the air? I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. He was like, we don't have anything for you, but keep me in the loop because I like you. And I was like, okay. And then, just shorten up the story, about a month later, I saw him walking in the street, and he was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, oh, I still don't have a job. And he was like, come on in. Somebody just quit. And they hired me for $6 an hour to change the tapes in the middle of the night. That's how I got the job in radio.
Timing.
So I don't know how to get a real job. This is the only place that ever really hired me was a radio station. And then they weren't dumb enough to ever fire me. Well, they were smart enough to fire me a couple times, but that's another story. Bob, line one. Good morning, Bob. You're on the Big 550 KTRS.
Good morning. I've listened to your show for a long time, and it's hard to figure out your politics, which is good. But I had no idea that you were a prude. I didn't know that.
A prude?
And a prude. You're saying so much negative stuff about these young women who are wearing the scarves, when it's my belief that they're doing what they can for their health. They're out there at a football game, out in the sun.
Yes.
They're absorbing all this vitamin D. They're doing this for their health, McGraw. I feel very strongly about that.
What about skin cancer? What about all the skin cancer they're absorbing?
Well, they put sunscreen on, but they use the type that allows the vitamin D to get in. I hope there is such a thing.
Bob, I will tell you, just very much like a strip club, a nude beach, right? The people who are on a nude beach, you really don't want to see on a nude beach. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, yeah, but these were college girls, young women.
Sure.
Are you saying they weren't attractive? Are you saying that?
No. I'm just saying that on a nude beach, usually you're like, oh, nude beach. Hey, let's go check out the nude beach. Usually the people on a nude beach are not the people you want to go rush out to go see on a nude beach, right?
I believe you're probably right.
And
that
so
makes
some of these people who are wearing some of these scantily clad handkerchiefs at the game, I would say they didn't have very good friends to tell them that is usually not in style. Let me just say that, okay?
I see your point.
Bob, thanks for the phone call, as always. And I am a big, giant prude, by the way. Huge, huge, giant prude. Jim, line two. Jim, good morning on the Big 550 KTRS.
Good morning. I was interested in your comments about AI and HR, where the two collide.
Right.
I called you maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I told you not just the Chinese, but Asia in general, they're going to win the AI race. Now, do you need any other proof to not know that when you've got a whole plant in the state of Georgia, Hyundai plant, with all South Korean workers? I'm telling you, they're going to win the AI race.
Well, how does a Hyundai plant? Hold on a second. How does a Hyundai plant with some South Korean workers? How is that prove that Asia is going to win the AI race?
Some is like maybe 4 or 5. 600 is like they're winning the AI.
Well,
HR race.
Fine. 600. So explain to me your reasoning. I don't understand how that proves they're going to win the AI race.
Well, AI and HR and hiring. You've got 600 South Koreans over here with the majority of the jobs. They're winning, pal. They're going to take off with it. I don't see any reason for this country to give tax credits to companies to pursue their AI-driven dreams. They're going to lose.
I don't understand. But again, Joe, I don't understand, or Jim, I don't understand how does that prove that artificial intelligence is going to be dominated by Asia because a Hyundai plant in South Carolina hired South Korean workers for their plant?
McGraw, it's just the latest example.
Okay, but I don't understand. Artificial intelligence is computers taking the jobs of humans. This is humans working in an undocumented manner in another country. It's a disconnect for me.
Man,
explain it to me.
You're impossible. You're impossible.
How am I No, explain it. I don't understand what you're saying. Show me your genius, Jim.
McGraw, just chalk one up for the Asians this time around, and there's going to be more. I say we're wasting our money. We're wasting our time and money on these AI guys.
Are you
and the tech bros?
Okay,
forget it.
I'm still confused. Are you saying that Asia is going to flood our companies with undocumented workers?
They're winning the battle already. You know what the Chinese company, the Chinese AI model, that one like really roiled the markets there back during the winter. Do you remember that?
Jim, Jim, you're clearly way smarter than I am to understand this stuff.
That's at least two instances. You've got AI HR at work in Georgia.
Jim, let's just
the release of the
Jim, I believe you because you're clearly smarter than I am. You've already figured all this out. I don't see the connection, but I'll take your word for it, Jim.
Okay.
All right.
You should.
I am. Well, yeah, I am. We're good. We're on the same page. I'm not smart enough to understand. I mean, he might be right, but I don't understand the example that the South Korean
Hyundai
plant is somehow proof that Asia's going to win the AI race. Is he saying? Head hurts.
You're thinking too much.
My head hurts. Joe, good morning, Joe. Line 1. This ought to be good. Joe, good morning.
Hey, McGraw, this is not what I called for, but here's what I heard. They're using 300 South Koreans to build the plant, but it's going to be 850 jobs for Georgia in general that they're missing out on. That's what I heard.
Who's missing out on?
850 jobs in general that they need to bring in to run the plant after the South Koreans build the plant. Then they're going to take off, and then the Georgians are going to run that plant. That's what I heard.
Yeah. I mean, were they undocumented? Were they illegal? Did they overstay their visas?
No,
did they climb over the border?
But what I understand is they had working permits to come here and build that plant. You know, the South Koreans aren't going to be that dumb to bring undocumented South Koreans over here. They've got all their T's crossed and their I's dotted. Unlike what's his name over there in the White House, who can't figure out what a T is and an I is.
Well, yeah, see, I don't understand. This one's an interesting story for me because I know that they're changing the laws overnight. Like, you were legal yesterday, and they decide to sign an executive order, and you're not legal today. So it's very confusing. A lot of people are saying, I'm against illegal immigration. Oh, okay, fine. Well, you were legal yesterday, you're not legal today, or you had temporary status and they decided to kick you out of your school, so therefore you lose your status, and so now you're illegal, right? I mean, it's very confusing because there are no sort of rules anymore, and they're either making them up as they go along or whatever else, or I don't know. I don't understand how these people were considered illegal.
Well, they're not. In Trump world, anybody who's not white with blue eyes and brown hair, and you know what I'm talking about, is considered an enemy.
Yeah, I don't. This one's I don't understand it. I don't understand it. What 600 South Koreans building a plant? It wasn't like they were hiding. I mean, they have to eat. The kids have to go to school. They have to live somewhere. They got to eat somewhere. They got to go to the supermarket somewhere. It isn't like they were, it wasn't like they were, in the shadows.
It's basically pandering to fear is what it is.
Well, I will say this. I talked to a company last week, Joe, thanks for the phone call. I talked to a company last week who was the company owner was a big Trump supporter. And he said, hey, I'm all for Trump. He says, but if Trump, here in St. Louis, he said, if Trump keeps taking my workers, I'm not going to have a company much longer. So he said they keep getting rounded up on traffic stops. And so he just said that they were down in Arnold maybe, and that a couple of his workers were detained and taken away because they were undocumented. And he said, I voted for Trump. Something had to be done with these undocumented workers. I'm all for it, but if they keep taking all my undocumented workers, I'm not going to have a company anymore. And I was like, oh, well, sorry to hear that. I don't know what to say to the guy. 950 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let's talk about Appliance Discounters, because Appliance Discounters has a new location. Well, they have 5 total, but they have something called the Grab and Go store, and that's in Afton on Gravois next to the Dairy Queen. And that's the Grab and Go store. So you can get your appliances delivered with Appliance Discounters, but you can also go in and pick out the one you want and take it with you, hence the Grab and Go moniker. What's great about that is the one in Afton on Gravois next to Dairy Queen, that's got dings and dents ones. That's got closeout items direct from the manufacturer. They all come with the full warranty, the full rebates, but because they're slightly damaged in transition and in transport, they're going to give you a better deal. Oftentimes they're on the back or the side. You never really see them anyway. Name brands, GE, Bosch, LG, slightly dinged. Great pricing times 10. Not to mention you get same as cash financing. If you want to deliver it yourself, pick it up and drop it off yourself, great. They'll do it for you. Either way, you're going to save some serious money. 5 area locations. The Appliance Discounters or theappliancediscounters.com.
Located in the St. Louis area since 1905, Lupton Millard Chapel is recognized for providing St. Louis families with the very finest in funeral services. You can be assured that the caring and professional staff at Lupton Millard will see to your family's every need with the highest level of compassion and dignity. Lupton Millard Chapel is locally owned and operated, investing their lives and resources into the care of the local St. Louis community. At your time of need, please consider Lupton Millard Chapel. For more information, go to luptonchapel.com.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a banner day.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Andy from Hats and Stuff. The summer's heat is starting to break and the kids are back to school, and we're gearing up for an exciting fall with a great selection of NFL and NHL hoodies, ball caps, and so much more. We still have great deals on Cardinals and Mizzou merchandise for the entire family at fantastic prices.
We have a huge selection of St. Louis-inspired graphic tees, all at $10. And don't forget about the cowboy hats.
Located in Westport Plaza across from the Drunken Fish and the Kobe Steakhouse and the Soulard Farmers Market on Saturdays. Hats and Stuff. Good stuff at really great prices.
Hats and Stuff. Hats and Stuff. Hats and Stuff.
You don't need to wait until it's cold outside to check your furnace. Beat the rush and save with Aldon's $79 Furnace Safety Check Special for new customers. And Aldon will make replacing your aging system a breeze. Get a $300 Aldon rebate off a new Daikin Fit furnace and pay as little as $273 per month, plus receive additional utility rebates if eligible. Also get a free custom air quality assessment with every service call. For details on these specials and to learn more about Daikin Fit systems, visit al-don.com.
Mama's on the Hill is the legendary birthplace of the Toasted Rav, and Mama's is the premier family restaurant on the Hill. Make a reservation online at mamasonthehill.com.
Now, back to McGraw. Presented by Londoff Chevrolet and Londoff.com on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, here's a story for you. I heard this at the last couple of days. So in radio, how they check ratings, believe it or not, they send you a little pager, and you're supposed to wear this pager around at all times, and then at the end of the night, you're supposed to put it on this dock, and it's supposed to download all this information that it obtains, right? Well, what they found out in the first 7 months of the Trump administration is that Latino listening has plummeted in radio markets around the country. Plummeted. So Latinos are no longer listening to the radio. No, that's not the case. Latinos aren't wearing the government-issued pager, which they're all convinced is tracking them to figure out if they're here legally or not. So they don't want to wear this pager. So radio rankings and radio ratings are plummeting because no one wants to wear the pager because they're convinced the government is tracking them to take them and send them away to some concentration camp somewhere. So don't expect Latino ratings to spike anytime soon in the radio industry. I have just enough time to tell you about Cardinal Glennon. Gretchen, we can't get to you. Call back tomorrow at 9. We'll get to you tomorrow. Sorry, Gretchen. Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. You've seen that new hospital being built on Grand and Choteau. When that opens up, the 21st century hospital will be ready to go. And they will continue the mission at Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Kids come from all over the world. It's magic. It's miracles every single day at Cardinal Glennon. Talk to anybody who's been there, who's been treated there. The doctors, the nurses, the support staff, all are there to help the kids. And it is amazing the work they do every single day. To find out more, end of the year giving, estate planning, Glennon.org. Don't forget about Light Up Glennon. We'll tell you about that as we get closer. Glennon.org. That's Glennon.org. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for putting up with me. Frank and Jill up next.
The Frank and Jill Show.
Hi, this is Frank Cusimano from The Frank and Jill Show. Join us for Tuesday's program beginning at 10 a.m. We'll have Dr. Rick Lehman talking all things medical, and we'll also talk with Joe Holloman from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Frank Cusimano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon, right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Hey, Heidi Glaus here, asking you to join us weekly as we present the KTRS Book Club, presented by the St. Louis County Library for readers of every